are live on the internet talking about film and cameras and film cameras. Whoa. What do you know? I love film. I love film cameras. I love photography in general and just being a dingus online for all you to pay attention to because it validates my existence. How are you doing? Welcome to the 7th episode of Hands of Friendship. I'm pretty sure it's episode 7 or it's season 2, episode 1. I'm gonna have to change the description. By the way, it has been freaking forever since I had my internet besties on here to talk with me about film photography. So let's get them in here. This is the boring part where I have to type in the names of my friends and my best friends around the world talking about film, and you guys get to join in, and maybe we can have a live caller in if one of these people has to go, do normal life stuff and quit the podcast eventually. Maybe we can, because I think you can only have 4 people on a live. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, but I have 3 of my besties that one of them just declined and said they're not going to join. So what the heck is your problem, dude? Ace, get in here. So Ace is invited. Let me get my other friends here. My best friends from the Southern Hemisphere, they are invited. Let's see. And then I got another one, an American who has now joined. Now there's not just one American. There are 2 Americans on the Hands of Friendship podcast. Me, and you'll see when he comes up soon. Yes, I'm American. Why is this taking forever to get my friends in here? I feel like I'm all here, all alone, by myself, trying to get this show underway. But, okay, finally we got Ace. How you doing?
LoPresti, a long time.
Yeah, it has been a while. I just looked it up, and I think the last episode we did was back in December. Man, I'm so sorry that it's been so long.
You got some things have to brew. Some things have to brew, man.
Well, what have we been brewing? What have you been working on?
Oh, look, you've been losing weight. You've been trimming down. You're looking good.
Oh, I'm flabbing up, dude. Freaking, maybe your eyes are getting fatter. I don't know what's
Probably.
going on.
Who knows? Who knows?
Oh my God! So I'm dealing here with some technical difficulties. So why don't you reintroduce yourself, because I have been getting so many followers. Some people might not know who you are. Let everyone know who you are, Ace, other than my best
Ace,
friend in the whole world.
g'day. Well, Ace, oh, bless. Ace here in Brisbane. Follow me __ places, and I have a instant account. I love instant instax. Never Polaroid though. Instant _ strangers. So follow me there. You'll often see me having a chat to the one and only Shutter Slaps, aka Saratoga, and it's been great getting to know Alex as well from Minnesota, and obviously your boy LoPresti, who's been shoulder to shoulder with the rich and famous in the film community. So I'm looking forward to some name dropping fairly soon. Howdy Lambo drives, and looks like we've got some people here in like Latin America, Brazil, and Paraguay. Is that like? I know that's not like. I know that's south of Texas. That's all I know. So apologies if my geography isn't up to scratch.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome Alex. Welcome everybody who's in here. So whatever that is, Abrago do Brazil. I have made a Brazilian friend that I hope gets to come on here eventually. My good buddy Raf. I don't know if he's freaking heck. I'm having technical difficulties
That's
getting my
cool.
buddies
That's
on here
cool.
right now. Trying to accept my friends to go live so that we can get Slaps in here and we can get Alexander. What is going on? Okay, finally we got somebody jumping in. Hey, we got Slaps. Hell yeah.
Hey
Slaps, why don't you
guys!
introduce yourself?
Oh, my brethren, we are back once again. It is your boy Slaps from the formidable Shutter Slaps. Check me out on YouTube, check me out on socials, check me out on all the cool places where the cool kids hang out. And we got a lot of people out here, and I'm really just loving the energy. I feel like we're coming for season 2. Season 2 for the live has got a lot of energy. LoPresti's looking really skinny, and we're just
said that.
hey, we're
I
just
said that.
here
He's
enjoying
looking
life.
skinny,
We're
isn't
just
he?
here enjoying life.
I can't believe you guys are trying. Flattery will work sometimes, but I know you guys too well. I know you're up to something trying to say that I'm freaking skinny. Come on. I've been weighing myself. I know what's going on. Alexander, request to be in the live. I don't know why you're just sitting there in the chat like a dingus. Get in here, everybody. I feel like I'm outnumbered. How are we going to start talking about film photography if it's one American against two Australians?
And I
We
don't
need to get
even know
Alexander in
anything
here.
about film photography.
Oh, come on, you guys know just as much as me. I know I put on a big show like I'm some expert, but I'm an idiot. I only started shooting film back in 2021. So if you're out there in the world thinking, you know what, film is a big important thing, I got to work hard to get good at it. You're a dummy. Just start doing stuff. Alexander, how you doing? Finally, we got you in the chat. Everybody, this is Alexander Just. He's a big time studio guy. So we got Apes who joined first. He's in Brisbane, Australia. We got Slaps from Melbourne, Australia. Alexander, tell everybody who you are.
I'm Alexander. You already introduced me.
We need energy. Energy. Alex, energy.
Alex,
Come on.
we spoke about this.
Yeah, we tried to coach you. You gotta be live and excited. You know, you can't just...
This is now when I'm supposed to talk about aliens?
Yeah, come on.
You want to say?
Yeah, this is the part where you talk about aliens.
Aliens yet, Alex? Alex, not aliens yet.
Not yet.
You can start with
Not
Bigfoot
yet.
if you want.
Not yet. Cryptoids.
Sasquatch.
Prophecy of the Popes, maybe.
Sasquatch.
Okay, well, guys, it has been... Okay, we'll save the cryptids for a little bit later. Since it has been since December, you know, I know we've been talking to each other in DMs for a while since then, but any gear acquisitions that we need to discuss, that we need to field with the table? Any new cameras? Any new film stocks? What's been going on?
Yeah, quite a few.
Well, you kick us off, Ace.
Kick us off,
Well,
Ace.
I got gifted a Rolly. I don't even remember what it was called now. It was their one that looked like the media format. That's how I started talking to you, Alex. What was it? You know, the Rolly 35, whatever it is.
The one that looks
like
the
yeah,
Where
it looks
is it, Ace?
it's someone else owns it now.
Is it still busted?
Yeah, it's still busted. Yeah, really.
Well, we're here to talk about working functional cameras, okay?
Well, working functional cameras, I've got a Nikon, that's how you say it, Nikon 601, a Nikon. I've got a Nikon. So I've taken that out once, and that was kind of cool. Pentax ME that I haven't used yet, and I'm working on a Super 8 camera. So
you're still trying to do that thing, eh? You're trying to be a cinematographer here.
No, this is a new project. So I got Frankenstein's one working. I'm working on something else. So, you know, that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Future content coming soon from Ace. What about you, Slaps? You want to show anything off or bring anything up camera-wise?
Well, I can't not mention the new elephant in the room, and we're dealing with the contacts. And what I love is that it came with the leather pouch. And I know a lot of people are gonna hate on the pouch, but you gotta love it. Like, you gotta remember, back in the 80s and early 90s, this was the coolest thing, to have a leather little thing, and you'd be down at the Indy 500, down at the 500, and you got your little leather pouch. It's the best. It's and a lot of Leica owners don't do it. Why do not Leica owners do not use the leather Leica? They get all these half cases. You guys have got to get the original Leica case.
What about me?
Anyway,
with my Leica.
Yes, one of the few people that has a Leica case. Wow. And how good is it?
Wow. You know, imagine my light seal could be terrible, and I would never know because this is aiding the light sealedness of it.
That's right. It all works. It works, baby.
Yeah.
Now here we got the contacts.
There we go.
Something different. You got the Leica. Absolutely loving it. Bit of drip. And
yeah, we're all camera snobs here. We're just looking down on Alex right now because you know he doesn't have an SL2 like this.
He doesn't. What does Alex have?
He's got a silver SL2.
No, I've been shooting a Sinar P2.
Come on,
lately.
What's that?
Yeah.
That's right. Alex has a Leica. That's right. Alex has a Leica. What a legend. He's an amazing Leica.
If anyone doesn't know in the chat, Alexander has every camera known to man. He's bored with cameras already. He's just here to troll the internet and the film community. That's what he's all about.
Picked up a couple.
A couple what?
Aries.
Yeah, I know. You fooled me with that one. What model Aries, man? Big time cinematographer over here.
650-watt tungsten Fresnel.
Oh,
That's a lot of Fresnel.
some big boy words.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's
two 150-watt Fresnels. Those are, they're like this big.
That's a really good point, Alex. I love the point that you brought that up, that lighting's more important than the camera itself. And I think that really is something that gets lost on a lot of people. We got to think of light whenever we're thinking of cameras.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what goes
right.
into them, right?
No.
Photons.
Light no
That's
move.
it. That's literally that's it. Light and composition.
And
Yeah, unless you have a light.
That's all.
Trump's having.
Yeah, that's all we need to talk about.
If you like it, like one of these, like a 21mm f2.8 spherical. But
Can't see because you don't have any lights on. Put some lights on.
I know.
No,
you're just sitting there in the darkness. How are you supposed to show off your fancy camera, dude, when you're sitting in a troll den, you little troll?
We spoke about it. Big smile, lights on.
I'm in the depth of the dark.
Yeah, do you see it? Notice the trend here? The three of us, man, we're well lit, showing off our fancy cameras. You're just there to... You're in the darkness. Come to the light.
Alex is liked by all his classroom, but just needs to apply himself.
I'm not studio. I don't have any lights here.
They're all at your studio? Come on, man. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to stop shitting on you because I know you're the fucking best photographer with all the coolest gear out of any of us combined.
Oh, go outside.
Tiff, mate, 612 Tiff just called you out and said you only have 7RTs and lenses, mate.
What is that? A 7 Artisan lens you got? The 21 mil? I thought that was a fancy Leica lens.
No, it's an actual Leica lens.
How's it been treating you? I remember when you DM'd me when you got that. Those were some cool pictures you sent me.
It's real good.
That's it?
Yeah.
From the man who's got every lens. You have every frame of reference to talk about this thing compared to other things. All you have to say about it is it's really good.
Hey, okay.
It's really good.
100%. It looks like it's at 100% because it's that good.
That good. You heard it here first, guys.
Are we talking to like Jared Poland? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah. I know, like nerd Jared Poland, Chronos Photos. Like it's
Chronos.
So it passed
what a legend.
The wind tunnel test?
No, it's kind of heavy.
Does it shoot raw?
You're not giving us much here, Alex.
That's okay. Soon we'll get out. Well, we have to wait till Alexander gets a little drunker and starts doing his impressions, and then we'll be having fun. But I guess I'll kick it off. So I was on the road for 2 weeks. I went to a lot of places. I went and met Mr. Cameradactyl himself, the master of direct to positive paper, color, RA4 reversal stuff. Got to shoot his brand new analog format, the Cameradactyl Master System, with this frickin' crazy thing. This is the size of the format. This is the canister he built. And here's a roll of 35 to compare it to. So you can see it's a lot bigger, and you get pictures that look like this. So I came back with 600 gigabytes, give or take, of footage from this trip. So I got a lot to go through, a lot of footage. And that's not all. I didn't just go and see him, but look at that. This is the original. That's not a print. This was loaded into one of these things, this paper, shot in a camera, and developed at his place in Albuquerque. And I got a bunch of originals. Like look at all those. Some of them are overexposed because there's not a lot of latitude. Look at that one. That kind of looks like my bulb.
Yeah.
There I am looking real cute. He said, I felt kind of taken advantage of for that shot, like I'm on a casting couch there.
No.
But we did a lot of cool stuff. Look at that one. I look so innocent. Anyway, so I did that. I went to Vegas. We went all the way to California and back, and got a lot of footage. Gonna have a lot of cool stuff coming up on my channel. So
Super exciting.
yeah.
Super exciting, man. I cannot wait to hear all about it. But just before we move on from that paper format, you know what? If someone doesn't have the ability to have that paper format in such a elaborate setup, you know what they can get? They can get the hashtag Pinster. The Pinster's a great camera for just,
No. Well,
shooting
let's not plug
positive.
that until I can work out a brand deal with Pinsta. You
Ah,
know, I'm still not getting paid for that yet, so we'll
okay,
sit on
okay.
that for a little bit. But
Okay,
yes, the Pinsta is awesome. No, I don't mind telling you guys the Pinsta. I'm sorry for burping. I'm drinking beers. The Pinsta camera is awesome. It's a great way to dip your feet into the world of direct positive onto paper shooting. Thanks, Mingo. Yeah, man, I can't wait to get these things cut together and shown to everybody. But yeah, if you've never thought about shooting directly onto paper instead of film, it's a fun thing to do. And Alexander, have you ever done any of that? I mean, I know you're into big formats. I mean, other than big Polaroid stuff, you ever done any type of direct positive shit on paper?
No, just big Polaroids.
Have you done the big 8x10s?
Yeah, my tens, but
That's
no, not never paper. I never wanted.
Well, I mean,
why
you're
not?
getting that darkroom set up, right? I mean, that would open up a whole new world of being able to do that shit right there.
Yeah, no, I'll just shoot Polaroids.
Look, dude, this guy does not sacrifice quality. I'm one of those guys that likes to tinker with stuff because I'm still learning. But Alexander's been doing it forever. He's done it all. He was able to scoop up all the fun cameras when they were still dirt cheap before all us tubers started coming out of the woodwork, making them expensive. So,
Hey, you
I don't blame you, Alexander, for being like, oh, whatever. You're fucking around with paper. Who cares? You fucking loser.
you just start shitting on all the cool cameras, so the price just drop.
How
Well,
will shooting the cool cameras make the price?
No, like shitting on them, like Hasselblads. They're not that great.
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Shitting on them, yeah. Freaking Hasselblads, dude, they suck. That's why I put out that video. I want the prices to go down so I can get another one. So yeah, guys, listen to me. Hasselblads suck. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. That's what I can kick it off. Anyone else want to take over for a bit? That was my road trip. Did fun things. Went to Vegas. I'm not broke. Well, I am, but I'm still the same amount of broke.
same amount of work.
I got an interesting. I got a question, and this is maybe for you, Alex, but wanting to get the opinion of the group. So PolarCon happened recently in San Francisco, I think it was, and PolarCon had put out this, like, one of their Insta posts was about making sure the community is like inclusive and friendly. Now I know I've talked to Slash about this before, but if I know anything about the Polaroid community, not the instant film community, but the Polaroid community, it seems to be the most small L liberal, bougie, inclusive film community in the whole universe. So, like, where would they be getting this, like, don't be racist, don't be sexist BS from? Like,
Well,
do you think someone just, like, got a little bit hurty once and had a whinge, or like what are your vibes? And this is me from not, I'm not in San Francisco or America,
the last thing I
but
saw
like,
like Policon is they were shooting on like a Cambo, like 8x10, and I wouldn't talk to someone who shoots on a Cambo.
What's wrong with
Really?
the
why?
Yeah,
Cambo?
it's a little too lowbrow, you know. If you're not shooting on a Swiss-made like CNR, like I don't really care.
You don't really, yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
fair.
but
That's
Yeah,
fair.
that's
Maybe it's coming
technical.
from the Instax
That's
crowd.
not.
yeah, no.
You
That's
did
pretty
like
mean, man. What if they
that's
can't
it.
afford? I mean, what if Policon's just a small outfit? I know you got your own instant thing. You want to plug your convention coming up, man? Your Midwest thing?
Oh no, yeah, Midwest Instacon. We have that. We're doing it for the second year, but we don't
That's
shoot
good.
Polaroids. Like this year we're shooting a whole bunch of Fuji
Yay!
Instax. Wait, and
Yep.
Instax, the
the
superior film.
quality is better. I don't care.
Oh, 100% better. No, I was just really interested, like, just from a human point of view, why would Polarcon in San Francisco, and like the only people that shoot Polaroid now are like rich gay boys. Like, what's like, why would it not be? Who's getting hate from them?
Well, they're promoting it on the internet. There's all sorts of people on the internet. I mean, you guys are on the internet, and you're saying rich gay boys. So, I mean, you're going to get us canceled before this podcast even starts,
It's
man.
not an insult. It's just an observation. I'm like, all power to them.
Well, I mean, I feel like
one of my good buddies, and he's part of Midwest Insticon. At one point in time, if you went to Target and you bought a pack of Polaroid 600, his pictures were on the box. And he still shoots like Instax here and there because it's like, Instax are just affordable.
And they're better.
Yeah.
And they're sharper.
Especially where I get them from.
Yeah, do you think with the release of the Polaroid Flip, is that going to bring down prices of Polaroid?
No.
Do you think it was a mistake, a misstep of them coming out with that camera? Should they have invested that time into making their emulsions better, into bringing down the prices, and maybe squeezing 2 extra shots into those packs?
No, because Polaroid is a mini Kodak. Polaroid really is. They're a company. They're trying to make money, so they bring out new cameras. And really, they should go to Instax and say, "Hey, can you create a film stock for us?" That would be.
Do us a solid.
That would be awesome.
Fuji, yeah, 100% grain right. I agree with you. Instax. When I say better, and I'll qualify that, is it's more reliable. The color is way better. You don't need to like hide the picture for 15 hours so it sets. The picture doesn't fade or go mank after a while. It's such a much more reliable, predictable product rather than just. And I personally hate just the Polaroid. The colors are crap. But also like how they have those special edition ones, like the blue ones and the yellow ones and the green ones. They just look terrible.
Well, I mean, but what about the history of Polaroid? I mean, isn't it like an American company?
Yeah,
like freaking shouldn't you love it? Because we're the cultural exporters of the planet.
The original
we're important. Polaroid's amazing. Freaking instead of Fuji just copied Polaroid. So what about that? What about the history of it all? Was it better before? Is the emulsion bad now since the Impossible people took it over?
Yes.
Okay,
it's not bad. They just kind of rebuilt something, and all power to them.
Alexander, what were you trying to say?
All of you are familiar with the Impossible Project?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm actually an Impossible Project pioneer. I haven't told any of you that yet. But I mean that story in itself is pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
And I mean I absolutely respect what they're doing. And they basically had to reinvent the whole thing. So it's like they're 4 years behind in chemical engineering compared to Fuji. But unlike Fuji, it's like, they are committed to keeping like those old 600 cameras that you can get that you can still find for pretty cheap, like working, and they're making like a 8x10, which is pretty cool. It's just, it's just, I just feel like if I buy Polaroid, it's like I'm also paying for them to do R&D, and for me, that's worth it. It's just for everyday stuff. It's like I'd rather just shoot Instax.
True.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not knocking their effort or anything like that. I 100% agree with what you're saying, and you're right. I think you're still paying for R&D. I genuinely want them to have a great product. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm chewing my nicotine gum. I feel like I'm a cow chewing cut over here. Slaps is calling me out. I can't help it, guys. I'm trying to be better. I'm having one vice today. Give me a break. Okay, I'm quitting for now.
Mate, you're doing well. You're doing well. If anything, you're doing better than you ever have. So keep it there. Now, the original Polaroid, the original guy was that guy was a visionary, I have to admit. I think the original Polaroid, he even came out with 35mm film, which I believe was instant. It was instant development, or it had a little home kit, and you could actually develop your own 35mm at home. Mate, the guy, Edward Land, isn't it? The guy's an absolute awesomeness. And he's, if him and Kodak kind of, or maybe it's better that him and Kodak didn't sort of join forces.
What was his name?
This Impossible Project, huh?
Edward Land.
Is that why they call it a land camera?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just like, it's not a Nikonos, you dingus.
No way, you dingalingus. Now, does the
I never knew. I
impossible
never knew. Don't throw it in the
right here?
water.
Yeah, you were this many years old when you finally figured out. That's why. And look,
Holy
SX70 is
shit.
good. The SX70 is worth the fact that the Impossible Project exists just for that one camera, because that camera is
Yeah.
amazing. That is literally space age technology
Hey,
from the 60s.
speaking of the
And
SX70, sorry to cut you off. I met, if
yeah,
anyone in the chat knows, I met Dr. SX70 when I went to Albuquerque. If any of you guys have seen him on Instagram, go follow him. He seems to be like a real pro at fixing
yep.
SX70s, and he mods them.
Mm-hmm.
He puts in like
I broke
digital
it.
counters on the back of them and shit. He seems real fucking smart, a real swell guy. So Jeremy Germs, everyone go give him some love. Dr. SX70, real cool guy.
Yeah.
I
No, he's
broke
cool. He's good.
fix mine.
You got a broken one?
3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'd hook you up, dude. He pumps them out, man. I'm like, how do you even? It seems like something that would take a lot of work, and there wouldn't be that much meat on the bone to make a living off it. But he seems to have a real passion and a knack for it. He's got some of the original tools from the original Polaroid that were like specially made for like, unfolding the bellows and shit like that. He was telling me I couldn't follow because I'm an idiot, but he was giving me this whole
There's
spiel
a dude in
where he was
Australia
like,
that does them as well.
yeah. It's like a worldwide community, dude. Like, I don't know. I got a crappy SX70 that still works, but like the
They're
only reason I
gorgeous.
got talking to the guy was because I got a SLR 690 and he said, "Oh, that thing's a piece of shit because it's all digital." And I'm like, "Oh, well, fuck me then, I guess." But anyway, he seems like a swell guy, and I'm sure he'd hook you up, man, Alexander. I mean, hit him up. I hit him up out of the blue before we were even friends. Like DM'd him, and yeah, he just answered all my questions. So if you want to bounce anything off him, he's a swell guy. So.
That's good.
I'm gonna rewind the
That's
tape. I'm gonna rewind the tape. LoPresti. So you've been on some epic adventures,
Yeah.
and which place did you find was the most in, I hate using the word inclusive, but the chillest for photographers? Out of all the places you went, where was like the chillest place you went for photography?
Perfect. I mean, it's tough, dude, because we were kind of just on a mission to get to Albuquerque, and I
Yeah.
kind of had to skip. I think another thing, I wanted to go meet these people in Bisbee, Arizona, the Reichart Photo Foundation. They're, and hopefully I get to go out there again and make that happen. But I don't know. Albuquerque was great. I got to go on a photo walk with those people. They were really nice. I got to go to an art gallery. The guy who works at the art gallery at the photo gallery place, he was on the photo walk, and we were just walking by the gallery. And he's like, "Hey, you guys want to go in?" And we got a private viewing. It was pretty cool. So I guess Albuquerque was dope, but freaking going to Vegas, dude! I've never seen people street photos from Vegas, and we walked the strip taking street photos, dude. And I kind of it kind of felt stupid, but fun at the same time because everyone's
It
there
feels
to fucking
like
gamble
low
and
hanging
be
fruit.
hedonistic. And I got stopped. This one freaking guy who seemed like Persian or I don't know, like I don't know. I was thinking, is he like some like incognito prince of Dubai, and he's gonna get mad at me and have me beheaded or something? I don't know. Which I don't know if that's bad of me to think, but he's like, "Why you take my picture?" And I was like, "I didn't fucking take your picture." Anyway,
You
so,
took your
so
picture.
stay tuned in for my new POV Vegas Strip street photography video coming out eventually, where I get confronted by some big, Middle Eastern Chad looking guy
I,
that talks,
I reckon
wants to beat me
I'm
up.
surprised there's not more like videos come out for street photography there, because I reckon that'd be such low hanging fruit.
It was nuts, dude. It's pretty nuts. There's stuff to see everywhere.
yeah.
But I feel like at the end of the day, I was just like shooting, pointing at anywhere you get a picture, and I don't really know if any of the work. I haven't developed any of it yet, so I don't know if any of the work's going to be good. I took like a few dozen pictures on my Ricoh, and I don't really like any of them. So I hope that's not a motif throughout all my film work.
Well, talk about your film work. The
Yeah.
recent reel that you posted about using a flash in the wild. You're flashing people on the streets. That looked fantastic. You did really well, my
Yeah.
friend.
Well, that was with my point and shoot, with my Pentax UC1, and that's nothing compared to what I use. I mean, Alexander is the one that got me kitted out with what I really used on the streets in Austin. I used my AD200. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a monobrick. It's not a speed light that you mount to this. You know, it's not like a little, you know, thing with a swivel head. It's something you put on like a Bowen's mount and you have a modifier on it. So I had that in my pocket. And then I had an extension that goes from that to a flash head that was on my shoulder. So I had a big old like beauty dish like that I was pointing at people. I was like, I looked like a Ghostbuster is what I looked like, you know. And having that, the advantage of having the Godox AD200 on me was that I wouldn't burn through any batteries, because that's my thing that I hate the most about street flash is AA batteries. You go through them so quick. Once they're like halfway done, the recycle time sucks on your flash, and then you end up with a box full of half burnt batteries, and you always got to sort them, and it just sucks.
You have to get the Panasonic makes they're black, but Panasonic makes and Panasonic Pro and Loop batteries. They're actually lithium ion batteries. The curve for like flash power and recycling times is way less than what if you're just using traditional alkaline or NiCad batteries. So if you are using an old flash like that and Loop Pros like that, that's the way to go.
So what, the recycle time doesn't suffer until the battery's like dead?
Yeah. It doesn't like if you use like regular alkaline batteries on one of those, it's usually 4. That's almost always 4. After it's like, 75% gone, it's just like your flash recycle rate cuts in half. Then Loop Pros, it's like a slow curve, so like you don't notice it nearly as much.
So that makes sense.
Slow decline.
Well, Look at us. We're talking about battery metrics over here, guys. This is a real freaking, I don't know, niche subject. Guys, let us know in the chat if you guys got any questions about what we've been up to and film stuff, camera stuff, whatever.
Big time.
But yeah, it's good to know.
I mean,
send me a link, Alex.
Back when I was shooting events and you had to use AA batteries because that's the only way to do it. And Loop Pros were like the way to go. Unless you needed like things to work like crack cocaine, then you had to get like those really expensive single use like Energizer, gold top, everything, and you could just go bang, 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 and throw them out after they're half dead.
Well, just use the constant light. Constant light.
Come on. You're going to go out with a constant light on the streets, dude? Fuck you.
You'd be doing all right. People probably be less.
No, I mean,
people be like,
if I was, no, I think you got something going there. I mean, if I was to use constant light, like, just light up, like get like 15 RE 18K maxes. They're only 90 amps each at 220 volts. I don't know if you have that in Australia.
What is this, an electrician's convention, guys? Come on.
We'd have something similar.
Wire that up. Put those up on stands, put them up in the air 20 feet above the skyline on all the rooftops, and just light up the whole street.
Light up the whole street. Well,
4 or 5
what
blocks.
I've got from my car, I've got a converter that converts to DC AC current, so I can just have someone driving my car slowly, an extension cable coming out, converting the current, and then just have a light, just a big light source. I could light the whole street and just have the car just burning gas on the side of the street.
Yeah, I wish that was enough power, but it's not.
You still don't think it would be enough? An inverter?
Well, I mean, for what purpose, though? I mean, when you're thinking about the practicality of things, I mean, hey, everybody, Dr. SX70, hey, Germs, we were just talking about you, man. I was shouting you out. Alexander here in the bottom right of my screen. He's got some broken SX70s. By the way, man, it was great meeting you. By the way, so you guys are talking about some real niche things, the practicality of running continuous lights from your car power. What the hell are we talking about?
I'm
what project is this for?
Generator trucks, multiple generator trucks.
Look, to be dead honest with you, Look, diesel's very clean fuel.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's very clean fuel.
It is.
I have literally, and I'm talking honest now, honest to Alien Overlord, is that I've used my high beam lights. I've used my high beam off my car to light a scene, and it works. Like, it's okay, it's different, but it works. So don't be afraid to just drive your car into the studio, use your high beams. I've done it. It was an open studio, of course. You want to watch out for the exhaust fumes, because even though it's a clean burning fuel, it's obnoxious. It's innoxious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
hey,
a
we've got a
Jeep
question in
guy.
the
I'm
chat.
a Jeep guy. I use my high beams for things when I need to.
Yeah.
Unlike,
Yeah, use what you got, man.
LoPresti's,
It ain't
the
stupid if it works.
Toyota, Mr. Toyota over there. You know, it's
Yeah, I got the freaking LEDs on my hood, so I can really light shit up, blind you with my high beams, baby. Yeah.
Imagine the street photography you can do with high beams and just having a camera right there on the
Man.
bonnet of your car.
But dude, any continuous light, I mean, you got to go so crazy to power a continuous light that would even rival like the shittiest, strobe. So strobes are just way more practical for stills photography. Excuse me.
But is it ethical?
God damn it.
But is it ethical?
yeah. Is it ethical?
No,
Because you're surprising
not.
people.
But that's
Also,
the
I
point.
mean,
Who wants ethics?
Part of the fun is doing things that aren't practical or ethical at all.
That's what YouTube's all about.
Well, I don't think Polaroid agrees.
Yeah, I mean, why not convince a Hollywood production to go do a movie in your town, so they light the whole thing up just so you can go do street photography and piggyback off of their whole entire lighting team and budget.
You
Is
just
this
given me a
in your
sense.
plan?
Yeah.
Is this in your journal? Is this in your diary on your vision board?
Yeah, I mean, when the movie Jingle All the Way, starring the
Tim
one and
Allen.
only Arnold Schwarzenegger, came into town. I mean, I was only 7 years old, but that's when I first got the ideas. Why not just get Hollywood to come into town so you can take the best possible street photography photos ever.
Well,
Okay, so
Tim
this
Allen in
is what we got to
Jingle All
do.
the
We
Way?
got to build a community. We got to get a Discord server together with people in every major city across America where people can dress up with nice suits and fake names and go pitch things to big wigs so we can get people with cameras and Aris and all the freaking grip trucks to come out to your hometown.
Yeah, I mean, I've met plenty of people who would be willing to let Harvey Weinstein to do his Harvey Weinstein thing to them.
Too soon.
Just to get a part.
Too soon.
The people who snitched on him, they're just complainers.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess we're far enough into the podcast where we can start talking about Weinstein and Epstein. I think it's fine. Guys, welcome to the Cancel Camera Club. That's us, baby. Cancel Me Camera Club.
But
By the way, no, I'm all
Alex-
about love and everything. I'm about Alice's Restaurant, frickin' you can get anything you want. Yeah, okay. Moving on. I don't really have another subject in mind, but I noticed, Ace, when you came back into frame, you're sitting crisscross applesauce right now.
Yeah.
Wow. How is your back feeling?
I last Friday just gone, so a week ago now, I tried to go scuba diving with my daughter, and the seas were, and there's a video coming. The seas were quite rough, and I got basically launched into the sky on the boat and hit the deck and smashed my coccyx, which is like really freaking sore. So I'm sitting on the floor. It's been really, really sore. And everyone else, it's a public holiday here today. It's like the Australian Memorial Day. So like my family are watching a movie or something. So I'm in my bedroom. I'm sitting on the floor because anyway, it's a long story, but yeah, I'm really sore. And the thing, I'm going through pain. I can't sit outside because it's raining. I'm going through pain so I can do this podcast with you boys.
Oh,
I'm really sore.
we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
But I do have some pain relief right here.
Yeah.
Man, that'll sort you. But Alex really, I think he created a very interesting thought process in my mind. Is we're talking about light sources. We're talking about how to create light sources. What about if we change the scenario, change the story? What if instead of creating flashes, instead of creating light sources, we direct traffic? Maybe we put a little footpath and we say, detour this way, and we send street traffic into an area where there is light already. That way you're just using the light that's there and you're manipulating the surroundings to have people to go to where the light is. That's a
That's literally
concept.
what
That could be a
that's literally what terrorists do when they set up a bomb, and they set up a small bomb that goes off, and all the emergency services come in, and then they set off a bigger one. We've been here
oh god.
before,
Well, I
right?
love
We tried to get this podcast back on track, Ace, and then you just totally derailed it right off the bat. He queued up a nice little question, and now we're talking about terrorists. Okay,
Look,
I got to go get a beer.
look,
We got to finish your thought. I'm sorry.
I
you,
mean,
you're
it covers up the
right.
Harvey Weinstein comment, so that's okay.
Yeah, it does. You're right. Saratoga, you're exactly right. That's a good idea to direct people. It's been done before.
Has it?
Yes.
That's a fantastic idea. That's a fantastic
Yeah.
idea. Imagine that.
That was that was like the turning point in the Hunger Games movie at the end with the bomb.
Really?
Well, I mean, speaking of bombs and directing crowds of people, in the Second
Why are
World
we talking
War,
about that though?
under the guidance of Winston Churchill, they started using a mixture of bombs when they were bombing German cities. So they first used
In
just
Dresden.
normal explosives, and then what they would do is they'd mix it with bombs on timers. So they started training the German public not to go into the buildings that were bombed out, because they knew there were bombs that weren't blown up yet that were on timers, because they would
Speaking of
randomly
that,
blow up.
I just went to White Sands, New Mexico, which is a missile testing range. So sir, it's a national park, but also you have to check the calendar and be like, so are we testing missiles on this given date? And if not, you can go out and have fun and
Is that
explore
where they
the White
tested like
Sand Dunes.
nuclear
Yeah,
weapons?
right around the corner is the Trinity site where they exploded the first nuclear bomb in history, Oppenheimer and all that
And then
shit. But
underground, they tested thousands of them.
well, yeah.
Yeah,
But they did the first one
underground's a lot
above
better.
ground. But anyway, I went there and there's markers there that say, stop, unexploded ordnance this way. So if you keep walking that way, you're liable to step on a fucking missile, that is still live.
Nah,
So you gotta be careful out there.
it's not missiles or bombs. It's crashed out UFOs.
Yeah. I mean, I also went to Roswell, and what a freaking scam that place is. Guys,
What?
stay
That's
tuned for the
Tell
freaking
me.
vlog. Freaking,
Tell me.
it sucks. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about Roswell, but I mean, as an American, I always thought Roswell, it's got to be cool. It's probably a kitschy place in New Mexico. You can go get a drink at an alien bar. There's probably, I don't know. It seems like it would be a cute place to go, and there'd be freaking alien kitschy stuff everywhere. But it just seems like every other place. They have a Target, they've got a mall, they've got every single fast food place imaginable. It just, I mean, I don't know. It just seemed like normal America with a few alien statues, and it snowed. And I don't know.
No.
It's
Well,
kind of lame.
aliens got to shop too. Like they got to get close too. So it has
Yeah.
to still be a running city.
Yeah, but
They need
But
access
that's
to
I
cool that
thought it
you
would be
went there.
free
small.
market.
Like I think Roswell, I think watching Ancient Aliens and thinking freaking, oh, black and white footage of some guy with tinfoil at a press conference. That's what I think of Roswell. I don't think of freaking going to the Farley's pub and getting some crappy Reuben sandwich like we did. I mean, I
When did you start
What
hating
what wait,
capitalism?
what made the Reuben sandwich so bad?
Yeah. I love Rubens.
it was just like lukewarm. The dressing wasn't great. The sauerkraut's from Cisco. It's just
What? Oh, so it was canned sauerkraut.
yeah. So
Ugh.
don't go to the Farleys in Roswell, New Mexico, guys. We stopped in because we were like, whoa, look at all the cars parked here. It's got to be okay. But that was just on one side of it. And then, you guys ever notice like you walk into a big restaurant and then you kind of regret it when you go in because it's like this place is so big it looks empty even though there's a decent amount of people in there. If I was going to open a restaurant, I'd have a small restaurant, so that one
Yeah.
person comes in, one family, and then people come in and they'll go, whoa, it's packed. If it's a big
Well,
restaurant, you
yeah.
always look dead unless it's like freaking fight night or something and everybody's at the bar. But anyway, it
And
was
then everyone
terrible.
complains that it's too busy.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
have you had the Chili's triple dipper?
No, I have not.
You're not into the Chili's mozzarella sticks?
Sorry, man. My fast food, my chain days. I try to be like I'm the everyman for people, but
At Chili's for lunch for $10.99, you can get a half-pound burger, 2 sides,
wait a sec. Let
and
me hit up Chili's and see if they're down for a collab for
and
these 7 people watching right
and
now.
unlimited free chips and salsa for $10.99.
That's
Promo
I
crazy.
gotta
No
say,
wonder
as a
That's
kid, I
a.
always loved going to
Chili's.
Chili's.
I mean,
I always loved the chips
a
and
solid
salsa.
it's a solid 7 on the burger. So I mean, but for $10.99, I mean,
Well, how many rolls?
especially
Film
when
good.
you get the girlfriend to pay for it,
Nah.
like that's even better.
Well, that liberates her. That makes her feel good. But how many rolls of film?
Yeah,
can
you don't
get
even
for
feel
$10.99?
bad that she's a single mom.
Okay, well, what are we even talking about at this point, guys? Are we even talking about film photography, or is this just a lifestyle vlog right now? Is that what we're doing? What's
I don't
going on?
know.
Are you guys okay? You know,
I've
do
got
you
a
guys want to vent about
recipe I'd like
feelings
to
right
share.
now? We're in a safe space.
Just all
I'm really
I know is
confused.
that 6 people are really getting their money's worth. That's all I know. 6 people right now
I'm
are
really
getting their
Guys, sound off
money's
in the
worth.
chat. Who's
apologies.
even still here? Guys, sound off
Ask
in the
us
chat. Where
questions.
you at?
You
What's
know
going
what?
on?
Yeah.
Ask us
You know what,
questions.
LoPresti? I don't blame us. I don't blame us at all. I blame our people watching. Ask some questions. Ask us something.
It is a
Senpai said we should be shooting .07 lenses. Maybe that's a way to get extra light in. Yeah, you know what?
I
You're
like.
right. But then how thin is that? How thin is the depth of field on that? I'm going to get like an
the
eyelash.
depth of fear.
I shoot it. I shoot
Yeah.
at f16. I don't know
Yeah,
you
dude, I'm
boys.
the freaking closed downs crew right over here, man. I love everything in focus. By the way, but let me cut you guys off for a second. I see that Dr. SX70 is still in here. Again, it was great meeting you in Albuquerque, man. By the way, as we talked to you, man, this is still broken. The Mew, Jeremy, it's still broken, and I figured it out. It's the flex cable. I think you already said that there. And the only place I can find that's willing to work on this thing is in Poland, and they want 210 euros. Plus, I got to ship it there and back. Do you know anybody, Jeremy, that in the States that works on these? Do you know anybody? DM me or whatever, because I would love to not have to ship this overseas. I'm fine with spending that money, but I don't want to send it customs and all that shit, you know? But I really want
What
to get this fixed for
what you
Sarah.
what while you're thinking of the answer, Dr. SX70, Jeremy, I took my X Pro 1 out recently with a TD Artisans, not knocking the lens, 27 f2, whatever it is, 2.8. And yeah, just shooting f8, just fixing the focus, 100% f8, on, and yeah. It's banger. It's so good. I loved it. It was just not thinking.
You were zone
I think
focusing?
yeah, just yeah, zone focus between 2 and 3 meters, f8.
Meters. Yeah.
I think yeah, meters. I know, metric. Yeah, good
Meters.
idea. We had base 10. F8. What are you talking? Oh, F8, not like swear word F8, just F8. Or are you mocking my
It's
accent?
just your funny accent.
I know, I know, and my nose is blocked as well. So
He's just
it's
fucking
even
with you.
Wait, so how do you feel about people from New Zealand?
They're the good sort. People in New Zealand are legends.
Are they? I don't know.
always.
Our DMs might disagree. Should I pull out the archives right
Look
now?
at that.
What do you
I
New
mean,
Zealand is a
what do you
place.
did they
what
even
do you want
pull
to
their
know?
weight? Did they pull their weight in World War II?
Well,
Oh, look, they're
today's
not much about
Anzac.
wars.
Just quickly, like today is Anzac, which is Australian New Zealand Army Corps Day. So like today is like a pretty like spiritual day for Australians and New Zealanders. So it's like
Spiritual. You
Australia
guys
and New
get your
Zealand Army
spirits
Corps.
on right now.
So like when today's probably the one day that we can't really take the mickey out of it.
So you
But I
can't make fun of
Ah,
New
still will.
Zealanders.
New Zealand
so
is
we got the
amazing.
great day.
Cool.
So you guys agree with all their life choices with those big ass sheep they got, and when they're lonely
Look,
up in the hills of New
all I'll
Zealand.
say is with New Zealanders
They do have
or the
Lord of the Rings. They got
Maoris
Lord of the
is
Rings there.
they are the only ones to beat the British. And the British were like, hey, we need to make a deal with these guys. And they were like,
Hey, I
there's going to be
mean,
other crazy white guys with more guns. We're going to make a deal with them.
the New Zealanders
So,
beat the
whoops.
British.
Yeah, they did.
I think Americans also may have also done that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, that's different because
we're kind of
the
known
Dutch
for
that
doing
helped as
that, aren't
well.
we?
That's a good point, but New Zealand's a very small, localized little place, and then America was a larger place,
Yeah,
and it was over tea.
it was over.
Movie
Yeah,
Phillips writes in the
1%
chat. Hi, Movie
tax,
Phillips. I don't know
income
you. I haven't
tax,
met you.
sales tax.
But let's not talk about Tea Party. Movie Phillips writes, what happens when the Portrait of 400 gets freaky? In what sense?
Ooh.
What what do you mean gets pushed or pulled or what? Like gets used to? I'm really confused by that. Like gets
I
freaky.
haven't
Like
figured out the new portrait yet.
The
What
I
do
didn't want
I
to.
didn't know
new
that
you mean the
portrait.
new
there was a new
Portra?
portrait.
What do you mean
There's
the new
new
What's the new
portrait?
Portra?
portrait?
What's the new
Sorry,
portrait?
I feel like you're
Let me
dropping a
know that we
bomb.
don't.
I'm old. I'm old in this game. Okay, I'm used to NC and VC and
Oh,
UC.
look at you flexing your fucking
Yeah,
ICUP freaking whatever, dude.
you're
I
you're
haven't
right,
figured out
Skies, but I
portrait.
never get talking about the
I
Lord of the
just
Rings.
I haven't figured it out.
So you're
So
not all about
that's
overexposing Portra for trash can bangers. I mean,
no.
what is going
I
on,
do that
man?
with
No, I
Lomo.
mean,
Do that
Yeah,
with
and
Lomo
pictures of the
800.
Californian coast at
if
sunset.
I really just know black and white film. Like I kind of suck with color.
That's
So
not
what?
true.
Paint,
That's
paint,
not
paint
true.
pro burger all day.
Oh, my favorite was Fuji Acros 100.
Yeah.
What about the Acros 2,
I've never shot it.
which
What
is
about the
actually
XX?
Hey, just
made
quickly,
in the UK by Ilford?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fuji
just
barely
quickly,
make kit
Alex.
anymore.
Quick,
Do they even make? Does
quick.
Fuji make any actual film other than Instax anymore? I don't
They
think so.
but
I think they're
well,
just
no, they
sitting on
make that
stockpiles.
really wonderful, beautifully, definitely not ugly GF whatever point and shoot camera.
GFX. The new
GFX,
one.
the new one that looks like a Cyclops and
Yeah, the
isn't
GFX 100.
ugly at all.
Talking about the
35
Yeah,
medium
millimeter.
Medium
format thing.
format.
the medium format.
Fixed lens. Yep.
I was
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
I was talking about film stocks though, not digital stuff.
I'm
Fuji.
confused about it.
That's all. Fuji cares about digital now. They don't care about film.
Well, they don't.
Well,
But
you better. Hopefully, they
let's
don't give up on
not.
Instax.
That's right.
They
Let's not
will.
beat up on Fuji. I don't want them to give up on Instax.
You,
No,
you
Instax
reckon?
is their cream. Instax is how they live.
Yeah.
No, they live. They're so diversified. They don't. I mean, they could probably lose to Instax. I
No.
mean, yeah. I mean, it seems like it's a lot of money because they're in every Walmart across the country. You know, but I don't think they need it. I just think they're like it makes business sense.
What?
Yeah, it makes them money. As long as as long as it's profitable, they'll continue.
Look, like Alex was saying earlier, Instax is the men's basketball that is supporting the Fuji
The ladies.
digital, which is the women's basketball.
Oof, I don't know.
And that's okay. You need
Just,
to have one to have the
just
other. You need to have one to have the other.
Senpai. So Senpai just brought up a point. So I know Fuji is diversified pretty deep into the whole medical imaging industry, and he just said they also make X-ray film. Has anybody fucked with that? Hit us up in the chat. Like, has anybody taken any of that into sheet film cameras or
Yeah,
anything like that? I'd love to hear
yeah.
about what's up
Way
with
back.
that.
My first experience with the 8x10 was with X-ray film. It's because I mean you could shoot the X-ray film and develop it in black and white, and you'd get stuff. It was super contrasty. It was kind of it was cool to see like if you were like really searching for this like crazy bokeh because 8x10 you have no depth of field until you start stopping down to f16 and plus. But you know, it is okay.
Yeah. Well, I got
that's
some X-ray
crazy.
film from 1946 that I have to shoot. Man, is that going to come out all right?
No, I wouldn't do it.
Just burn it.
I should just throw it
Now.
away.
Just throw it away.
No,
Don't even develop it.
no, just give it away
Give it
in like a
away, dude. I spent $50 on 50 feet of it, $1 a foot. I'm going to shoot the fuck out of it.
Yeah, you gotta
hey, I
shoot
mean
it. You gotta shoot it.
$50. I mean, think about $50. How many followers can you get with that with the giveaway?
But dude, I got to make a video about it if I'm going to give it away, or I'm just going to do whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know this
Hang on.
guy
There's
who
an
has a
interesting question
studio
here.
in St.
Moo
Paul that could probably
Yeah,
use
Moo
some of that.
Phillips.
Moo Phillips.
Phillips
How
asked.
do you feel about the weird Fuji half frame coming out?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm very excited about the half frame camera coming out because I love half frame cameras. Digital half frame? Digital half frame? That's something different.
What?
Now, this is the thing about Fuji. Fuji love creating random products. They just came out with the Instax
Yeah.
Wide, the one with the fixed lens. It's got the little
Yeah.
doorbell lens on it, and you can have the little wide. You know, no one wants it. No one asked for it, but they came out with it. And that's what they're doing again with this half frame. No one asked for it. They're like, oh, off the back of Pentax's, new half frame camera, we should come out with a digital half frame camera. No one
It doesn't
asked
make
for it, but they're
Wait,
any
doing it.
sense.
So what?
what do
It's
you mean
smaller
digital half
than an
frame?
APS-C sensor or an
I
APS
believe it's a
sensor?
digital half frame. I believe, hey, Moo Moo, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's a digital half frame. Or is it film? Come on, Moo Moo, I'll wait.
What
Right.
is it
Digital
like
half frame.
Oh.
Come on, Moo
digital
Moo,
with
don't leave
text
us
onto
hanging.
it?
Apparently, all that's
Yeah.
out is a teaser video. I don't think there's any official information yet. I'm looking at an
It,
article right
honestly,
now.
Hey,
this,
did you
I
guys know the
hope.
Hasselblad H system was just a Fuji camera?
Yeah, that's the same as X-Pan,
About
I suppose.
talking
No,
about
like the
going back
Hasselblad
going
H.
back to instant film.
What is
Just
the H
quickly.
system?
You know, like
Yeah.
if you wanted the Hasselblad H5D 50,
What
the
are those
six
like the
the
fancier
615
digital ones?
Hasselblads.
It's digital.
Yeah, like the
He's saying it's
autofocus
Fuji.
Hasselblads.
Mm.
The autofocus
That's
Hasselblad
fair.
cameras. Those
Yeah.
are all Fujis.
It's all
All the
Fuji.
lenses are Fujinons.
Of course it is.
Alex, I want to know your opinion. TV Artisans have got those teasers out for their Seagull instant camera. Have you seen
I
those?
didn't know they had that.
It,
I haven't seen it.
it's
I
it,
mean, my
it they released it at the Berlin Camera Show or something. So it's an instant camera, but like a fold out with bellows. Instant
Oh,
it could be
I
camera.
saw
great.
that. Yeah, it's like
Over
a folding
It could be
camera,
great.
but it's instant.
yeah.
I mean,
Overexposed has done a review on it. A few other guys have done reviews on it.
It's like this thing.
The TT
Yeah,
Artisan stuff. It's like some they have some bangers in it that are for like nothing. Like it's just cheap
yeah.
and it's good, and then other stuff is just like, you know, you get what you pay for. It's like it's cheap and it's okay, but
It's cheap. Yeah,
um, you know, they fill a
yeah.
gap in the
I
market, and some of it's good, some of it's not as good. But I mean, if you want a
yeah.
21 millimeter f1.5 for $300, and you just because you want to play, it's like, hey, that's pretty cool.
I think it's cool.
Well,
But
where
every
do you side? Do you like to align yourself with, some company coming in there and undercutting other companies that have put so much R&D and research and engineering into something, and then they charge a luxury price point? Or do you like the other companies that come in there and just undercut everything and make it really cheaply and sell it cheap? Where do you find yourself aligning yourself? What are you buying more frequently? Are you buying just to play and have fun? Or do you feel like you're talking yourself up that price tier ladder to the high point more often than not?
I mean, okay, so
I think it
the
only high
last lens that I bought was actually an adapter to take a Kiev rangefinder camera, like the Helios 10 something.
Don't tell
So it's like a
him.
53
Don't
to
tell him.
1.8.
Don't tell him.
No,
Tell him.
no, I didn't do that. But I bought this adapter, a secret adapter made by this Ukrainian man, to go onto my Leica M to put a secret Ukrainian lens onto my Leica M, which is really great.
Ukrainian or Soviet?
It was made during Soviet times, but in Ukraine,
Sure.
based
That's
on
amazing.
German designs.
Beautiful. So you basically, in effect, you've created a Voigtlander 2RC. Is that what it is?
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no,
2RC, brother.
No,
no,
no.
Nori.
You sound like
no,
you've been in trouble from your mum. No. No.
It's 2RC. It's what it is.
But
It's a
the lens I
contact
bought
mount.
before that was a Leica 21 millimeter 2.8 spherical,
Yeah.
and I mean, I waited 10 years to buy that lens, and I don't regret it at all after getting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A decade. You're
Do you
But
waiting
ever
a
use
decade.
it?
That's
the
cool.
thing is, making a really good 50 millimeter lens is way easier than making a really great 21 millimeter lens. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
what is it, Alexander? Can you explain this to me? Because it's weird. Like, how come that's like the sweet spot, 50 millimeter? Why is that the sweet spot for getting like a fast lens that's decently built? What is it about glass and optics, like the fundamental of the physics of light, that make it so that if you want something in the 28, 24, 21 at range or whatever, it has to be like prohibitively expensive to get like a decently
all,
fast or just decently featured lens?
all, all I know is like at the beginning when they were making lenses, it was relatively easy and technically easy to make normal lenses. Like so what our eyes normally see, so 50 or like 35 is considered normal. But making wide angle lenses were always hard. So like for the most part, anything like past like I mean even telephoto lenses from like the 80s and the 70s, like some of those are still really good because it wasn't that hard for them to make lenses to like see really far. But in terms of making wide angle lenses, because of the curvature and then like
Yeah.
how the light has to like bend it certain ways, it was like harder for them to make it technically. So it's like most modern lenses like really gaining technical proficiency like from the wide angles, but normals it's like there's stuff from the 80s that are just as good as anything that they make today. That's as far as I understand, but I'm not an engineer.
But like, okay, so how does that translate across formats though? So like, if you say normal lens, like
I
okay,
mean,
so
normal is
50
just
is
like
normal
in
when you think
degrees.
about the miniature format that 35 or full frame really is, because people started on sheets that were way bigger than this. So what was the normal lens of the day, like when 8x10 or fucking other field cameras were the only fucking photography thing? Like the field of like optics engineering has had it's probably
It's just
freaking
like in the
crazy. It
degree,
sounds like
it's
a
the,
crazy
like
rabbit
the
hole.
degree or like the field of view. The field of view is like I don't know. Someone has to go Google that quick.
Is
Whatever
it like
50
this,
is.
arm's length? Just do the whole
Yeah, I mean
director thing. There you
it's
go.
a certain degree, but like the millimeters has to do with like how far like the glass is relative to the like the size that it has to project onto.
Well, I'm not talking about numbers. I don't know. I guess we are talking
I mean
about
that's how
numbers.
it works. So it's like I mean, like a telephoto lens, from a technical standpoint, means that like the where the base of the lens is, like where the lens distance from like where the film plane is less than the millimeters than it than the film format is from the long edge.
Okay, nerd. Let's change the gears for a second. I'm sorry to call you a
Yeah,
nerd,
boys,
but
just quickly, boys. I gotta hit the road. I'm loving this. This is like the most like technical, like less unhinged conversation we've
I know
ever
we got to get a little
had.
crazy up in here. Hey,
I know.
hey,
I've got my
Pavlos is
that
in
lunch.
here. Pavlos,
Oh,
can we
Pablo.
tell people where you are right now?
Pablos!
Pavlos is
Yeah.
in
Anyway,
Afghanistan. He can't
Oh,
tell
well, now
where
you
he
just
is.
doxed them. Thanks a lot. Everybody, don't go to
see you,
Afghanistan.
boys.
Take
It's
care,
great joining you.
Ace.
I might
Thanks for
CA.
coming.
I might catch up with you later. Okay.
Thanks for
Love
coming.
See you,
you,
boys.
CA. Wow.
Can we
Oh
get
wait, was that like? I shouldn't have said that.
get
I'm a man. I can't say that.
can,
Okay, but let's change gears for a second. Like I was saying. Okay, so you're talking about what makes a telephoto a telephoto. But let's cater to our baser lizard brains right now. Somebody in the chat keeps shouting out, "How good is the Canon 7?" So as both of
Canon
you
Seven's great.
who have Leica M mount bodies, so what do you think about freaking other rangefinder
I
systems?
would I would love people to not talk about that said camera, because that said camera is literally the best price of a camera with the greatest features with a LTM lens mount, which basically has fantastic glass available. And it's the kind of like, if I lost my job and became homeless and I could only afford one camera, it's because you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. I would normally say go the Soviet route and go get yourself a Kiev, go get yourself a Zorky. However, reliability becomes an issue, becomes a little bit of a issue. Plus, you're still dealing with curtain shutters. Whereas the 7, you're dealing with what, aluminium? Is it an aluminium shutter or is it a titanium shutter? I don't know, stainless steel, something. You're dealing with fantastic shutters, reliable. It's the Toyota Camry of the photography world. Plus, it
Can't
has
it
a
be the
bright
Forerunner?
viewfinder.
Camrys are lame.
Yeah, they are
Yeah,
right.
it's like a
Yeah,
Jeep
okay.
Wrangler.
No, not a Jeep. It's not a Jeep Wrangler. It's too fuel dependent.
Whatever,
No, the
Ducky
Canon
boy.
7 is the greatest, is the best, but I just don't want you guys to talk about it because I don't want that to change. So
So wait,
let's
isn't
just.
the Canon 7 the one that has the dream lens, the 0.95 aperture one, 50 mil
You
or whatever the
can.
hell?
Well, yeah,
That
that,
lens
and
is
I think
kind of
even
bad.
earlier
Is
tonight.
it?
It's pretty bad.
I was
It,
pretty, dude. Before I moved from Vero Beach, Florida, where I used to live, I got in touch with this guy who had a freaking crazy warehouse of film stuff. He had everything. He had Pentax 6.7. He had all like the hits, F5 up on a shelf, and he had one of those on the shelf. And I was like, oh fuck, dude, I want to let me help you fucking sell all your shit on eBay. But whatever, dude. He was too cool to let me help him do all that. But I remember I got to hold one of those dream lenses. It was pretty cool.
it, it's good at what it does, and it's the whole idea is that it's obviously extremely fast, and that's what it does. And it's heavy, it's big, it's going to be a real big chunky boy hanging off your neck, and so it's impractical for 99%. But for that 1% use, fantastic. Would I get one? Never in a million years. Would I advise someone else to get one? Never in a million years. Stick with the 1.8. It's plenty fast enough. I think they've also got like a 1.4 or 1.5 or something. That's also fast enough. Heck, even the 2 point something is plenty fast. You don't need. Why are we going so fast? Why is the world obsessed
Yeah,
with
slow down,
speed?
stop down, zone focus. Why do we need fast apertures? What are you, a bokeh
Yeah,
whore? I mean, god damn
It's,
it. Okay,
I mean,
somebody else
it's
said,
diminishing returns for sure.
yeah, but so somebody else said Mamiya 7 overrated. Alexander, am I wrong? Do you have a Mamiya 7? You told me you have
I had one
lenses for that
I
system.
had one for years. I arguably, and this, I mean, I have Hasselblads and Mamiya RZs and the Rolly system and 4x5 cameras. Some of the Mamiya 7 lenses, like it looks like you're shooting on a 4x5 because it's that good.
Pavlos, I know you need to be fast on the street, but low light situations, maybe you want a faster lens, but like, low light, wide open, you're gonna have to manually focus anyway. I mean, I don't know. Do street photographers really need ultra fast
I
apertures?
mean,
I don't think so. I think most street
the thing
photographers zone
here's
focus.
Pavlos is, he's so steady, he can handhold it like 15 seconds. And
Is that
you know,
true?
he's
Pavlos,
basically
what
a
in your
tripod.
in your portfolio, what is the slowest shutter
No, I
speed
mean,
that's in your
no, but
portfolio
like
that you show
what
people?
I'm
Hey
saying is
guys,
like
guys,
he's hung
I'm
to
gonna
the
take
point where like
a quick
he's
break, guys. I'll
basically
be
a
straight back.
tripod.
Don't
Oh,
leave. I'll be straight back.
okay. Slaps is coming back. Pavlos, I'm so glad you're here with us, everybody. It's been a while since we've had this show, this little podcast with all my buddies. And I feel like Alexander, I mean, do you feel like you're at home in the Hands of Friendship? You kind of snuck your way into the group chat, and now you're just part of Hands of Friendship.
That's you're doing.
I know that's my doing, and it happened because Ace had what is that Rolly camera that he had that broke? And I called you in for that DM.
I guess so.
No, what? I mean, well, what was it? Like, you have one of those things, but he has the 35 mil version.
I never had that Rolly camera.
Well, you got the medium format version. What the hell is it? I
Well,
mean,
the
we're
format
we're
version,
saying
that's a different beast.
okay, well, whatever. Way to
That's
undersell me
probably
here, dude.
that was probably built by the Singalese Liberation Army in the 1970s.
Well, I mean,
Patty Hearst.
Well, you got any other hot takes? What do we got here in the chat? This guy says Canon 7 is better than any other Canon rangefinder. I mean, is there a huge amount of them? I thought it was Canon 7, Canon P. I don't know.
To my knowledge, I mean, for the most part, rangefinders went out of they outlived their utility. Started dying basically after the 60s.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Now everyone's talking about the Canon P, and I want to just talk about the Canon P for a second. Markham.photos just said something that I wish he didn't. Everyone loves the Canon P, hence the name. The P stands for popular, and I love that everyone loves the Canon P. It makes me so happy that everyone loves the Canon P, because I do not rate the Canon P. I think it's majorly overrated. However, that's a good thing, because it keeps people away from the VIL, which is truly an amazing camera, and it keeps people away from the Canon 7, which looks ugly.
Why are you gatekeeping over here? Why are you gatekeeping?
So I don't
You got to gatekeep.
I don't know if you two know this, but in the 1950s, when Leica started becoming very popular, but people kind of underestimate and they don't really realize the Nikon rangefinder camera was just as popular as the Leicas.
I really want one of those Nikon SP. Remember? Okay, so they remade some of those Nikon rangefinders in the early 2000s, right? I'd love to get my hands on one of those.
Collector's edition thing. It's whatever.
Oh, it's just whatever. Okay.
I mean, it kind of is. It's just like Leica coming out with the M6 again. It's like we can make money off of the hype.
Well, I'm down to buy the hype now, man. Freaking hell! Now I'm a camera hyper. That's my job now.
But really, what happened in the 1960s is the 1960s was the age of like the SLR camera, because SLRs in many ways are better than rangefinders. I mean, I would argue rangefinders are better on the wide end, but as soon as you're using telephoto lenses, like rangefinders kind of suck.
Yeah, well, explain what's better. Explain to me what better means.
For example, so let's say you're shooting with like a 85mm lens. It kind of sucks using a rangefinder with an 85.
It does suck. However,
so technically,
the lens is closer to the film.
Sorry to cut you off. What I have understood as what's better about rangefinders is that technically you get less aberration in artifacts if the flange distance is shorter, which is possible without a mirror in the way, correct?
Yeah, so, from a technical standpoint, you can make wide-angle lenses better, easier, but also, from my perspective, 5 in terms of you can buy any camera you want. The advantage of a rangefinder, like the normal end, is like you see things differently because you're seeing through a window rather than you're seeing through the lens. So you kind of compose things differently because you can layer and stack things inside of the viewfinder. So it's a different experience. But
it is a different experience. It is different.
But now, SLRs are pretty much dead now. There's no manufacturers making SLRs. They're making mirrorless cameras. So, like, SLRs are now basically officially dead.
Good, because I'll pick them up and I'll buy them. Because DSLRs and SLRs are the best thing on the planet.
Yeah, so, I do studio work for portraits, and it's like, I don't want to look through a mirrorless camera. I don't want the lag in between. I want to see what's through the lens, and then I click the button.
That's right, 100%. And it's the one thing that still makes life worth living is that we've got SLRs and DSLRs. But I'll say this. You say that SLR kind of took a big dump on the old rangefinder, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chats, guys. Tell me if the chats if I'm wrong. But when you pick up, and Alex, I know you're going to agree with me on this one. When you pick up an SLR or DSLR, what's the first thing that comes to your mind is work. I'm working. This feels like work. Because it's a workhorse, and it's a great camera, but it feels like work. When you pick up a rangefinder, it feels like you're having fun. It feels like it's more personal. It's more about you than the subject. Am I wrong?
I agree.
You're wrong, but you continue.
That's because you don't have a real rangefinder LoPresti.
No, I mean, but what about hip shooting? If you're hip shooting, you don't look through either of them. So there you go. And that's when
Yeah,
I'm having fun.
true. But
True.
why
Be
would
right
you
back.
hip shoot with an SLR? That's just weird. Hip shooting with an SLR, like,
Why is
okay, you
that
can do
weird,
it.
dude? You fuck you. Goddamn.
Hey, why not hip shoot with an RB67 then? If you're gonna go that way,
I mean, those are kind of like car batteries.
it's true. It's exactly. So why would you hip shoot with them? It doesn't make sense.
Why
LoPresti's,
doesn't it? Why
LoPresti's.
does it make any more sense to hip shoot with a rangefinder than with an SLR? I mean, they're both light tight boxes. They're both stopping time machines, right,
Exactly.
Pavlos? I mean, goddamn.
I mean,
True. You're 100% correct. It is like saying, why go to the beach with bathers on when you can just wear jeans? It's the same thing. You can both jump in the water. And you're right. It's the
That's
experience. Come on.
a straw
Rangefinders,
man argument. I don't
smaller camera.
appreciate it.
Smaller camera. It's, you know, it's
for me,
small.
for me personally, shooting with rangefinders, I tend to like look and zone focus more than an SLR because I mean SLR is like the technology's gotten to where it's autofocus so much, and then the rangefinders, even on the lenses and how they build them, they kind of, I mean, they'll have all of the numbers and all the lines on it to make zone focusing easier. Whereas like later SLR lenses, they kind of just skip out on that, especially once you start getting into the 80s where autofocus came out. So like the rangefinder lenses, it kind of makes you think with zone focusing, so you kind of get used to that.
Well, I think coming from my perspective, like I still have that. Like, if anybody's seen that episode about my Nikon F100 where I break my favorite Nikon lens, my 20 millimeter f2.8, it has still the focus range, just like old school lenses. It has, the all that information there, which all the Leica people act like they're so freaking important for having that when all the lenses before that still had it, you know. And freaking that's why I feel like zone focusing and having fun with an SLR is still possible because I've done that. I do it. I
True.
mean, with
You
my
can.
Nikon D7000, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can. But it's just, I feel like you guys, and even the guys in the chat, you're all missing the point. You're missing the important, crucial point. Yes, you can hip shot with an SLR. Yes, SLRs are personal. You can have a nice relationship with an SLR. But when I'm hip shooting, like, when are you hip shooting? Are you hip shooting when you're doing landscapes? No. Are you hip shooting when you're doing, like portrait sessions? No. So when are you hip shooting? It's when you're doing street photography and it's fast paced. So if I'm doing street photography, why would I want this massive sound of a shutter and a mirror slapping all over the place? I don't want that sound, right? Hip shots is fast, close. You're close. You're in someone's personal space. You're very close to somebody and you're doing a quick little hip shot. So then you'd want like a smaller camera. Now, if they created some kind of SLR system that was miniature, like maybe the Olympus Pen FT, maybe that you could hip shot with a Pen FT with a wide lens, maybe, and it's half frame as well, so you're getting 72 shots per roll. So that's awesome. Maybe you can do that, but I'm not going to bring an F3 and do hip shots. Doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do it. There's no legal. No one's going to pull you over on the side of the road. But my preference is I'm going to go a little rangefinder. But hip shot all you want. I know people don't like hip shots, but I think hip shots are important because it's chaos. You're accepting chaos into your life, and you're saying, I'm going to take a photo that I wouldn't normally do because I'm not going to squat down like a little weirdo, and I'm just going to shoot from the hip and let it happen. Let it happen. And what comes in, comes in. And I feel like that's an important part of society too, not just... Anyway, back to you guys.
You know,
I just needed to clear
no,
that up.
I agree. But back to where you said like when you're using an SLR, it feels like work. I mean, I feel like that plays a big part into it because I mean, for the most part, if you're trying to make a living doing photography, you're not doing it from doing straight photography.
True.
Most of it's like, you know, you can be like a portrait photographer, you could be a wedding photographer, you could be a product photographer. So it's like all of those. It's like an SLR is way more practical than a rangefinder. Like rangefinders, it's like if you're doing documentary work, it's like rangefinders can be nice. This is some small niche stuff for like doing portrait stuff. It's okay, or like for like maybe some niche stuff for like wedding photography. It's okay, but like otherwise, it's like an SLR is just far more practical because
It is.
is what you get. So it's like
Mm.
market kind of. I mean, I was just arguing the market just drives you towards getting an SLR camera.
Okay,
I
well,
agree. Yeah.
dropped into Afghanistan right now. What would you guys want with you? Pavlos, shut up. We don't like you're already there. So, what would you guys want with you? Dropped in the middle of
A
Afghanistan.
sign,
Glad you
Frickin'
asked.
a Signar 8x10, and
oh my
Nikonov
God!
too.
What are you gonna shoot with an 8 by? You gonna slow down? You gonna take pictures of everybody
yeah,
on the streets with your 8 by
yeah,
10? What are you trying to? What are you trying to get? You trying to get some emotional, like large depth of field portraiture, right? Going.
yeah. I know, and I'm gonna have it on a fucking uh, like a Ronin like gimbal on a Steadicam. Yeah.
That's gonna be a lot for the ambulance to come pick you up with and cart you
Oh,
So
off with this big.
how much hip shooting have you done with your Sinar?
fucking zero, bloody zero fucking hip shooting.
Okay, so let's make a distinction for anyone here. I mean, I'm sure everyone here knows what the fuck's going on, but yeah, hip shooting is always just it's an instinctual thing that happens like when you just weren't ready to put it up to your eye and you saw something. And yes, you should always try to follow it up, put it to your eye. Don't be a pussy. Try to take the picture for real,
No,
when you're out in the
if
streets. But
if
hip
you're
Alright.
shooting does have its
whoa,
place. We're not trying to be sneaky and be
whoa,
underhanded and
whoa, hey,
unethical.
hey, speak for yourself, buddy.
You're trying to be sneaky.
Hey,
Yeah.
when you
Speak for
when
yourself.
you shoot with a 35 millimeter lens with the same camera for 10 years straight, you don't need to put your eye up to it.
Well, guys, okay, well, listen, just a second.
Yes.
Let me interrupt
Agreed.
everybody because
Agreed.
Pavlos is coming in hard right here in the chat saying hip shooting is no good. Get beaten up by hip shooting. And guess what? I kind of agree with him, even though I hip shoot all the time. So when I was telling you guys
What?
earlier, I got confronted in Vegas. Some guy got mad at me for taking his picture. I wasn't taking his picture, and I wasn't technically hip shooting, but my eye wasn't to the finder. So what happened was I was walking along like this with my camera like that, and some guy who's in front of me that way walks by this way, and like I just kind of go like that, like to take his picture when I think like, okay, it'll probably frame up good, and I don't put it up to my eye. I should have probably done that, but anyway. And then this guy that was behind me, who also accidentally got in the frame, eventually he chased me down after 2 blocks, and he's like, "You take my picture. Why you take my picture?" And I'm like, "No, I wasn't taking your picture. I was taking. You were just in the picture." Anyway, so like I get it. When you do something quick, and it just like it gives off that air of you're trying to be a sneaky spy, and people get mad. So I get what Pablo is saying. I definitely agree with that. You're putting yourself in harm's way more when you try to be low key like
That's what
that.
you do.
Excuse
Street.
me, everybody.
So what are we doing then? What are we doing? If we're not putting ourselves in harm's way, you really like. I'm not saying you purposely put yourself in harm's way, but that's kind of it comes with the thing. It's like saying, "Oh, I don't want to go to the gym because my muscles hurt later." It's like, yeah, but that comes part and
But
parcel
also,
with the. But I
so
think
it's what you're trying to do. Do you just want to get some random snapshot, or do you want pictures that have thought and intention behind them? Me, honestly, I don't give a fuck. Pavlos, you're amazing. You have intention behind everything, but I mean, I feel like my work probably is nowhere close to that. It's just it's bullshit. I'm trying to get characters. I'm a wannabe Bruce Gilden. I'm a poser. So whatever, you know.
I mean,
I love
I've been
hip
working with
shots.
large format, so it's like you don't get to have your eye up to the camera when you take a picture.
Yeah. But
So,
you
I
frame
agree.
it up beforehand and you just look at them and you try and wait and visualize how that moment's going to look on the glass
yeah, which is
or would have looked on
different
the
than
glass.
eye in the camera.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's entirely. I mean, it's just different.
Everyone's cool. Everyone can do what they please. But I think hip shots are magical. I think that's something really cool.
What about
And I'll
what
forever.
about attaching a camera to like the end of your shoe?
And you're getting upskirts
Yeah, well,
all day, baby.
that's
OnlyFans
very
Yeah, like
style.
That's Pee
the
Wee Herman style, and it worked for him.
Japanese made Harem Z2 camera. I don't know if you remember that.
Remember what?
One?
You know, it doesn't matter. It was like a 720p camera you could put on the end of your shoe.
Was that the Sony one? The Sony one where it was a lens and then like the body and the lens was separate?
Oh, like the Venice. It's
Yeah.
the Sony Venice. The cinema camera. Yeah, we get one of those. Follow focus system, director's monitor, director's up in the 100 feet away.
So you want
Perfect.
to get a whole team together to go shoot stills in the street? Frickin'.
Yeah, I mean that'd be one way to do it.
That sounds like a fun
I've got
YouTube video, dude. Let's get together. I'm coming to Minnesota.
Yeah, just try to
interesting.
shoot it that way.
Okay, so somebody is just walking. Somebody else has the follow focus. Somebody else has the shutter button. A whole team. How many idiots does it take to take one good street photo? There's the premise.
That's a fair point. It's a fair point.
That'd be an interesting way to read.
It would be fun. It would be fun to see what you get, dude, if it's a really collaborative experience. Because usually street is like a very solo thing. I find it very meditative when I'm out there. But guys, I want to keep circling back to what Pavlos is saying because he's going hard, saying he don't like Gildan, no morality, all this stuff about Gildan. I really like Gildan's work, so that's one point I'm always happy to disagree with Pavlos on. Pavlos, I really respect you. I love talking to you. Sound off in the chat. Are you anti or pro Gildan? What do you think? How much privacy should you expect? How much respect should you expect in the street from your fellow passerbys as they're out there snapping? What are your guys' thoughts? What do you guys get? Does Gildan give you the ick? What do you guys think?
I
Not at all.
first don't like using flash in street photography.
Oh, I love it.
I'm not gonna say it's wrong. I don't like doing it that way.
What? Wait a sec. Let's unpack that a little bit, Alex. Are you saying you don't like the look? Is it that you don't like the look of flash? Or are you saying that I don't feel comfortable doing it? What's that?
It's kind of both, to be honest.
Okay. Well, if you don't like the look, then that's the end of conversation. It's done. You don't like the look of flash.
I like it.
Fair.
I like it for party photos.
Party photos are great.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a party on the street? Question mark?
Yeah. That's a good point.
So are you telling me you hated all the photos from my Austin vlog that I put out a few weeks ago?
No,
Not to plug my YouTube content, but go check it out. 3 nights in Austin, Texas, POV street photography.
It was good, man. I liked it.
I think it's interesting. It doesn't fit into my work that I do. It's just I can get why someone might dislike Gildan stuff.
I mean, I get it, dude. I feel like that's you look at like Cartier and all that old classic shit. You see them seeing light how it was right there. You see somebody like Gildan coming in there and creating a scene out of nothing that would have probably just been an underexposed, silhouetted bullshit shot that he would have thrown away. But I'm trying to find a middle ground. I feel like I still don't know how to have a rig or a setup or a workflow that allows me to capture something that is kind of close to what my eyes seeing by being just like a lower powered fill flash and still having good ambient light. I feel like I'm not good at doing fill flash in the day type of thing, which is what I'd really want to get to just bring up the exposure on shit. Like, and when you're walking through a city, it's kind of feel like you're wasting all your time thinking about, okay, now I'm in the shade and now this building is casting it that way. And now I got to think about how I'm going to set my camera up for success in this point. And it is a lot. It's like a big monkey wrench to throw in the gears of you just trying to capture a nice scene. And it kind of sucks, like it kind of just is a big technical freaking like monkey on your back when you're trying to make it work. But I feel like I look at stuff that like Ouija's done and Gildan's done, and I really like it. And I want to be able to make shit like that. By the way, Pablo wants to be in. If you guys want Pavlos in, I'm totally down.
No, that's pretty.
I'm down.
Oh, I mean the Ouija thing brings in a good point because it's like in Ouija's day, it's like it was normal to shoot press photography with a 4x5.
No.
So I mean, then you have the technical issue of like your lens wide open is 5.6, and you're shooting 400
Yes.
ISO like your peak.
Yes.
So you needed flash to get something at night.
You need flash, 100%, because you need that depth of field. You want to get it now. And someone in the chat made an interesting point. Sometimes, and I like to do this majorly, is I'll see someone, I'll see it in a composition, I'll think, man, I've got to get this. I have to get this. I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm going right up to this person, and I'm hitting them with that flash so damn hard in the face. Bam! They're getting that flash in their face. And then I'll talk to them after that and say, hey, I had to take your photo. This was awesome. I'll send it to you. And you'll chat to them, and it becomes a great conversation. So it's like that conversation can be had, but sometimes after the fact is also interesting.
Pavlos, let us transition into talking to you, but before you give your opinions on stuff, at the fundamental level, have you done much work with Flash in the streets at all? What are your thoughts on just generally using Flash outside of just pure photojournalism? If we can get the connection in Afghanistan. Oh, Pavlos, I don't know if you're hearing us. I feel like we're getting a lag here. Oh, do I got to kick Pavlos out?
I wouldn't use those words. Just, I'll give him a sec. We'll give him a sec. He's not doing. He actually is in Afghanistan.
Yes, he is. Anyway, Pavlos, can you hear us? What's going on? I don't know if maybe this is too much. Maybe the Illuminati doesn't want us all talking live right now. What's going on? Pavlos, can you hear us? Wi-Fi is too slow. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Pavlos. I'm going to remove you from the live video just to keep this gravy train going.
Badly Meter said, roast me because I bought an M3 and I suck at photography.
Go ahead. I know you got thoughts on the M3.
You're the perfect person for an M3. That's exactly what they're for.
I don't like the M3.
How can you not like the M3? The M3 is the best.
I don't think it is.
Okay, tell me. Give me 3 reasons. Just 3. Let's go old school. Give me 3 reasons why they're not the best.
One, you have to pay 2 to 3 times as much if you want one that's black.
Yeah, well, you don't. But that's a good conversation. Let's come back to colored cameras later. That's a very good conversation. Yeah, next point.
There's no meter of it.
Who needs a meter? Are you a 5-year-old? Why are you using a meter?
Oh, come on, dude. Not okay. So yeah, I've been getting better and more confident at Sunny 16ing myself through my fucking. But whatever. I like having a meter. I like not having to think. I don't want it. Like I said earlier, like having a flash and having to think about the lighting conditions while you're moving through a city with different contrasts going on. It's kind of a nightmare. And then thinking of if I have to do that even without a flash, I like just having a meter and having auto exposure when I'm doing street stuff. So any camera that's going to be my everyday carry needs to have aperture priority at least, you know?
It's
okay.
Mate, maybe I'm Rain Man. Maybe I'm the little Rain Man picking up 2
Number
things.
3.
But
the third reason
it's not that hard.
is the viewfinder is really only made for a 50 mil.
That's true.
And I don't like 50 millimeter lenses on rangefinders personally.
Yeah, but that's what the original. Yeah, but think about it. When you had the Leica 3 and the 3F and all those, it was designed for 50 mil. 50 mil was just like LoPresti was saying. 50 mil was the one to beat.
By Nazis.
Look, that I won't get into that, but it's 50 mil is the way to do it. Now, if you want to go 28 mil, you want to go 21 mil, that's fine, and that's why you have the little external viewfinder. You put it on the thing, bang, external viewfinder, and you zone focus, or should I say, a scale focus, and it's fine. You just scale focus with 21mm. It's not that difficult.
Oh, okay, fine. Number 4, the rewind knob on the M2 and the M3 suck. You have to go spend more money to make a rewind knob that's actually practical, that doesn't suck.
You got me there. You got me there. The
Well,
rewind
still, you guys
knob
are
is
talking about
bad.
freaking first world problems. Like, oh, freaking, look at me. Like, okay, I got a Leica, but it's not an M mount rangefinder. I can't do this. Wah. And
Hey,
now I have a
whoa.
rangefinder M3,
You're
but I have to do
that
this.
like
Wah.
more rare than an M6, okay?
Well, just because it's rare doesn't mean it's worth as much. If it was, I would sell this and get an M6 right away because I want to jump on the bandwagon.
No,
That's fair.
I'm kind of jealous of that one.
Yeah.
Why? Because yours is silver?
Yeah, the part of it's broken.
Well, mine worked. I got the freaking I got the meter to work. It's only like a half a stop over, I think.
I kind of always
so that's fine.
Or the R9.
But then you run into some quality issues.
Yeah.
The lenses are great. Lenses are superb.
Like the 81.4, like the R series. So good.
But the one thing with this, I do love holding it. It's a nice fidget spinner. I mean, guys, just listen for a sec. It all feels great. It's all put together great. Like, listen to that. Like, it all just instills confidence.
That's beautiful.
But the thing that sucks about it is I don't want to shoot a 50mm all the time. I want a wide lens, and looking at them, I might as well be looking at an M mount price. Like, it's fucking expensive. Like, what am I going to freaking do? Am I really going to invest into a whole new system right now? Like, no. Goddamn.
That's the problem. That's not a problem, but that's the thing to realize when you get into the Leica world. Unless you're getting the lens with the camera and you're happy with the 50 and everything's good, as soon as you want to buy a separate lens, the lens is going to cost you more than the body and the other lens and everything all put together. The lenses is really where it's at. So if you want a 28mm or a 35mm, you might as well just buy a Nikon SP with a 35mm rather than getting a Leica M6 with a 35mm. The 35mm is going to cost you more than what a Nikon's going to cost you for a whole setup. So that's when you start just having separate cameras for separate focal lengths, which is bizarre, but it works.
I have thought about this. Like, should this just be my 50mm camera?
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe.
It's your 50.
Yeah,
that's right.
For medium format, I use a key of 6x6 because I wanted a fisheye camera in medium format, and I didn't want to pay $2,000 for one for the Hasselblad because I could pay $300 for the whole camera and the lens, which is a copy of the Hasselblad. And for how often I use fisheye, it's like $300 sounds a lot nicer than $2.
Facts.
So somebody brought up something that I want to add. I want to run by Alexander. Somebody said leaf shutter makes street flash so easy. So what would be a camera system if I want to do leaf shutter flash street stuff? Alexander, do you got anything to throw out there?
Mamiya 7.
Okay, well, I have, I'm broke, so I can't do that. Am I just supposed to slap that 50 on the Hossie and do that? Is that what I need to do?
Yeah, you could. It's kind of an awkward street camera, though. This Hossie.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, guys? Serious question, and I think it's going on the same vein as what LoPresti was going down, and I think Alex, being a flash master, knowing all about flashes and light, will be able to explain this. When I had my M1, pretty cool. It has like the lowest flash sync speed, right? Of what is it, 60th of a second? And I'm sitting there going, oh, that's so slow. Oh, 60th of a second. If you get the other cameras, they can do it at 250ths and 500ths. They can sync speed at any speed. But this is my thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, because you probably know a lot about this. If you're shooting a camera at 60th of a second, and that's the fastest sync speed, what we're saying is that as that curtain opens, there's a point in time where the frame is completely open, and that's the slowest speed is 60th of a second. And people are like, oh, but I want to shoot faster than 60th of a second. But what I'm thinking is as that curtain's open at its full 35 millimeter width, the flash goes off. What speed is the flash going at? Because it probably won't be going at 60th of a second. The flash will probably going at a lot faster than that. So you're actually probably freezing time a lot faster than 60th of a second. You're probably freezing it at whatever speed you've got the flash set at. So does it really matter that we can shoot faster at I can shoot at 250. Does it really matter? Because at the end of the day, the flash is telling you
it matters
how
if you
fast.
want to cut. It matters if you want to cut down the ambient light and have different aperture values too. Like if you, so that
okay.
that's all I'll say. It's just being able to control both the ambient and the freaking strobe light. I'm sorry to step on your toes, Alexander.
No, I just
No,
need an
no, I mean,
answer. Yeah.
no,
Okay.
absolutely. I mean, the flash so the thing from the flash for how the stopping power is called flash deterioration, and depending upon the flash that you're using, it changes. So if you're using like at the highest end, if you're using like a Pro Photo Pro 12 pack at minimum power, it's like 1/100,000th of a second. So that's your effective shutter speed, faster than any normal shutter speed that you could get.
Well, you can get a 1/12,000th of a second with the Alpha 9 Minolta.
You can get that, and you can also get that from like a Kodak. So you can get 1/10,000th of a second at minimum power. You do lose control because, like, if you wanted to underexpose the ambient light, you can't do that because your shutter speed's stuck at whatever. Or if you're doing like flash photography in a studio where it matters, it's like ideally if you're doing product photography, you don't want any ambient light factoring into the exposure. So like let's say you took the exposure on the camera, let's say your shutter speed is at 125 at f8, ISO 100. If you took that picture, the flash didn't go off, you want the picture to be black, so no lights affected. If you want the optimal quality, full control with just flash. So that's where the downside of only having 1/60th a second would matter.
Okay. So if you don't have full control of the lighting scene and you have ambient light in the background, then you have to deal with that. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Or like in like the specific situation of like you're outside during the daytime, you want to use flash photography, and you want to darken the background. So it's way easier to do that 1/500th of a second on a Hasselblad with flash than it is if you only get 1/25th on like a Canon. So it's really specific situations where that really matters.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Until until high speed sync came out in like 2012.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Good old high speed.
Alexander, for somebody who knows so much about flash and flash in the studio, and you love, you have the mastery of lighting systems. Why don't you? I don't know. It seems like you should be the perfect person to try to take strobes to the street, but yet you don't like the look of street strobes.
Yeah, I mean, part of it for me, if I'm shooting street, it's like I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. Like I just like shooting loose, and it's more like something that's like I'm gonna go outside and go just have fun, casual, and I'm just gonna focus on like what's here and what's in front. And I'm not gonna work with all that other stuff.
Okay, so somebody asked if you could pick only one 35 millimeter film camera system to work with, what would you pick? We're going to start with you, Alexander, but I need you to answer it as
Jordan Peterson.
So if I could only use one 35mm camera system, like it has to be the Nikon 3, and that's for a multitude of reasons. One, it's the first camera to ever have a vertical shutter. So there's multiple vertical shutters you can adapt to that camera system. Plus, you can also put 250 millimeter frame bulk roll film back onto the camera. You can take that.
That's gorgeous.
Snow, and most importantly, that camera can handle the harsh winters in Alberta, where cats don't last long.
That's gorgeous. That is so good. Oh my goodness.
So wait, you
that is
said
so
250 frame bulk roll. You can put a 250 frame back on a Nikon F3. That's a thing.
What I said.
good. Yeah.
Thank
It
you,
does. Yeah.
Dr.
It's
Peterson.
crazy looking thing, eh? An F3.
Okay, Slap. You got an answer.
I'd like to answer it with a question. I'm assuming, and sorry I have to be that guy, but the person who asked this question, are they trying to think for themselves? What is the pinnacle of cameras? Is that what they're asking? And then my question would be, well, what are you using it for? Because 35mm for what? You know, but if you're just asking me personally, hey Slaps, what would you get if money wasn't an option and you could get any 35mm in the world?
He's not asking that. He's asking if you could only have one. So I feel like it's kind of like an all-arounder question. It's not like if money was no object question. It's like, fucking, what would be the one that suits the most needs most of the time kind of question is what I'm getting at.
Okay. That's a tricky question. It's a tricky question. Yeah, I suppose Alex has answered correctly in the sense that the F3 has the most accessories. It's got the most accessories. It's built like an absolute machine. It will never die on you. And if it does, it's still serviceable. So that's something that most people don't think about, but Alex does. It's still serviceable. So probably is the greatest, affordable, mass-produced, made in Japan, titanium shutter, modular camera, modular system, probably is the best. Would I get it? No, because I love chaos and I love making bad decisions. If I could have one camera that does everything, 35mm, it'd have to be manual. I would go the, and I know this is a bad decision. Just understand, I know it's a bad decision, but that's what I do. Is I would go for the wide lux. I'd just grab a wide lux because I haven't had one before and I want one.
So you've never even touched it, and that's your choice.
That's my choice, baby. That's my choice, baby.
Yeah. I mean, if Jeff Bridges, he just shot that on film sets. He became an actor so he could just shoot street photography with the wide lux, knowing that they had RE18K Maxes already on set, lighting everything, so he could shoot Tri-X at f8 all the time.
The most ethical film stock.
Yeah,
it was. It is for him. He's not on.
Let's go, Sempi. Let's go, Sempaiski.
He's shooting sets that are already lit. All he has to do is pretend to be something else to get access.
That's my goal, guys. That's why I'm trying to be a famous content creator, so I can, bridge out to different freaking niches. Bridge out, Jeff Bridges. Yeah, so I can so that I can get like the Maddie Matheson deal of instead of from cooking to being on The Bear, it'll be from photography to being on some other fucking show. I don't know. And then I'll be able to be on Hollywood sets and I'll be able to talk to all the camera guys because guess what? They're already watching my content because I'm a camera person. And they're like, hey, yeah, you're that funny camera guy. And now you're on set. And now I get to take pictures of famous people. And then I get to have a portfolio that everyone wants to buy. And that's my retirement plan. There you go. But I can't, I don't even know if I can answer the whole question of what would be your 35mm system because, I haven't gotten to play with them all like Alexander has, and I feel like Slaps, you've gotten to play with a lot more things than I have. I've only been shooting film since 2021. I feel like I've gotten close. I really love my Canon A1 just because of the glass I have for it. I've got a really nice 24mm lens that I love for it, but I feel like maybe the Canon F1 would be my thing, but isn't it only the new F1 that has auto exposure and all that shit? So I don't really know, you know.
Mechanical's beautiful, and I just want to say, with our answers from all three of us, people in the chats are probably thinking, "What about the Spotmatic? And what about the Olympus OM? They're all fantastic cameras. Don't think for a second that they're somehow less. You're basically picking out of the best cameras ever to exist. Get an M42 mount. Oh, the lenses you can get on M42, they're amazing. Get yourself some Russian Soviet chaotic mess. They're fantastic cameras. Get yourself, anything. Literally 35mm. You can't really go wrong. Probably the better question is, which one would you stay away from? That's probably a good question. Which 35mm would you not buy? Alex, starting with you.
Ooh. Probably the Olympus OM system. No,
That's what I was thinking.
Why? The OM system's meant to be amazing.
Minolta SRT, whatever.
SRTs?
Yeah, I'd stay away from those.
Why? I mean, they're built like tanks, dude. They work in the freezing, whatever. But why not Olympus, dude?
No,
is it because this
I
should be a shutter speed, but it's an ISO dial? Is that why?
I rescind my Olympus comment. I'm switching to the Minolta SRT system.
By the way, guys, in the chat, let me know if you want to buy this Olympus OM1 with a 28mm f2.8 off me. I might put it on my eBay, but I think I need to do a video about it first to get it hyped and drive up the price. So let me know.
Millimeter lens for the OM system?
Huh?
Do you have a use for a 300mm lens that mostly works for the OM system?
No, because I think I'm just going to make a video about this camera and sell it on eBay and hype it up, and then sell it.
So I shouldn't just send you a 300mm lens for the...
Just send it for free, I guess, but I don't want to pay you for one. But yeah, this is what I hate about frickin' OM. Why is this the ISO dial?
That is weird.
And I don't want to fucking fuck with this shit for the shutter speed and fucking all that shit. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's like the
weird.
It's like the Nikkor mat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the old Nikkor mats had that with the shutter speed here. Yeah,
they're still figuring out SLRs. Then they didn't know what to do.
But it is tiny. I kind of like that it's tiny, but having big hands, like where the fuck does my pinky go? It's just like you got to find the right pistol too. You got to get the extended magazine, to fucking give your pinky somewhere to go. Now we're talking firearms, guy. Okay, what's your favorite? What Sig Sauer, frickin' Glock? What's your everyday carry? Just kidding. We're talking about cameras here.
I kind of like the MNP.
Hell yeah, dude. That's my kind of guy.
I mean, and the ones that I've handled, which is I don't really care for pistols too much. I just the MNP that fit my hand the best.
Yeah, that's why I got one. Anyway, we're not talking. No one needs to know what I have to protect myself here. So let's go on to other things. What about folding? What are these useful in today's day and age, Alexander? Do you have any of these? Would you recommend these, or would you say stay away from somebody who wants to dip their toes into medium format?
I mean, if you have one of those and you don't have an AK-74U, then I don't give any business playing around with that. I mean, everyone knows 5.45 is like the poison bullet. Also, just a copy of the 5.56, but the AK-74U is kind of just a cool bad guy gun.
Dude, I do want an AK really bad. I still don't have a rifle yet, or maybe I do. Maybe I'm just telling you guys that so you can come and test me at my ranch, so I can have an excuse to use it. Anyway, we're not a firearms frickin', and I'm sorry. I feel like we're leaving out Saratoga Flaps over here because we're talking about firearms, and they're not allowed to have those on his side of the planet. So
I don't know what guns are. I think the Magnum looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the PP7, from GoldenEye, and the RP90.
I'm just all about gear over here, guys. Yeah. No, whatever it shoots, whether it's film or bullets.
P47s.
What about was it the movie Cobra with Stallone in it, and he had the guns? I don't look. You have to educate me, but had the gun with the laser on it, and it was like the laser.
I know what you're talking about. I think those are Uzis with lasers. No, those are like
that was pretty cool.
Lasers.
That was pretty cool.
You know, like a 45 millimeter ACP with a laser sight on it.
Don't you guys love
cool.
that guns also use millimeters? It's not just cameras. I feel like that's the big gap that we're bridging there. 9mm freaking. If you have a 9mm lens, that's pretty wide, but your grouping better be pretty good at the freaking on the steel. Anyway, bringing it back to cameras, there will be a video about this camera soon. The thing, I got this fixed. I spent money to get this thing fixed. The shutter was stuck. It needed a spring. It does kind of suck, but the reason I wanted to get this fixed is because it has a rangefinder.
Is that a 6x9?
Yeah, it's a 6x9. You can also put a mask in there and use, I think, this viewing window to make it a 645.
120 or
yeah.
6? Oh wow!
It's 120. You can shoot 6x9 or 6x645 on it. It's really rare.
Is that 6x9s? What are you wowing about?
It's what'd you say?
Is that a Tessar?
Let me see.
The scoping on.
It is a Gorlitz. It's a Gorlitz.
Ooh.
100mm, 3.8 Gorlitz Trioplan.
Yeah,
it's pre-war.
I mean, other than that, you can't really shoot into like light without it flaring like crazy. That it's probably a great lens.
I've only shot one roll through it so far. Right now, I mean, I don't know about the lens characteristics. I'm not a nerd like you, but I am nerdy about other things. But my one gripe with it is this is the advanced system. Sometimes you fucking forget. If this is all you have to go by, you got to be like, okay, is it time to spin it again? And you can get a blank frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. But no, you're 100% right. But you bring up a good point. When you use a camera like this, of that ilk, of that age, you have to already know before you take the first shot. Those cameras, most of those lenses have very basic coatings, if no coatings at all. So you can't shoot at the sun. You need to have very basic lighting setup, and I think a lot of people make these amateur mistakes. Don't shoot near the sun. Really just, keep the exposure really simple. And yeah, they're great cameras. I think folding cameras are great. Yeah, the bellows can be a problem, but that's what they created masking tape for it, and they created flexo tape. You just tape the bad boy up and keep moving, mate. It's great. Good on you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what I can get from it, but so far, kind of underwhelming. My first roll from it. I always thought 6x9 is kind of like a pinnacle of accessible, but also wide and medium format. But, every time I set myself up with expectations of shooting a larger, wider format, I kind of disappoint myself. And I feel like 35mm full frame really hits that sweet spot for stills of just accessible. You get so many exposures, and you can just not get precious with any single one of them. And, the resolution's good enough, depending on your film stock, how you develop it. It's fucking, you can still zoom in at 100% on Lightroom and be happy with it. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm just not a medium format guy, no matter how hard I try to be. And I feel like that's kind of what fed into me being disappointed with the Hasselblad. I felt like this would be the thing. But the whole thing of shooting a Hasselblad, it slows you down. It makes you fucking precious with it. You're shooting a Hasselblad, for Christ's sake. I feel like I'm just not the type of guy like Alexander who slows down and tries to hunt for a perfect exposure with like models and lighting and a nice set. I'm not that type of guy. I don't think. I'm just a guy that wants to fucking, just take a shit ton of pictures whenever it tickles my fancy and I get a little, tingle. And I'm like, oh, I want to take that. So I don't know. I just feel like I still haven't found the perfect workflow. I have had fun with like TLRs and shit. I feel like that's been more fun. But something like this, I don't know if this is going to be the winner for me. I might end up selling it. It might fetch me a pretty penny because it's pre-war and it's rare and there's not many of them. Anyway,
good. That's fantastic. Hey, well, look, LoPresti, can I just go in there? Can I just say something? Look,
Yeah.
medium format, when you're looking on Instagram or on your mobile phone, you're not going to see that much different. But when you print it out, that's when you might see a lot more of a difference. And you might be like, wow, printing medium format's very different to printing 35mm. So that's one sort of aspect to it. And it's the minutiae, it's the little details of medium format that outweighs 35mm, and it's that depth of field. And look, I don't want to upset all the Olympus crowd, but I do believe that the bigger the back, the better the print. You know, and you can read into that as you will, but I think that, you know, having that larger scale changes everything. It's really good. Definitely get into it. And just to put the conversation in a completely opposite way, unless Alex wants to add on to it, but I wanted to chat later, maybe it's something, a little talking point, about painted cameras. That's a very fashionable thing. A lot of people have an affinity to painted cameras. Makes the camera worth 8 times more than what it should be worth. Love to chat about that too. But yeah, go for it, guys. What do you reckon?
I really want to buy one of those painted cameras, like Russian cameras, by one of those babushkas.
Yes, yes, yes. I was looking at one of those babushka doll cameras. Yes, I'm so glad you brought this up. And I was chatting to the guy,
Like
and I
want,
said, I want one of your
with one of those.
Uno babushka camera, per favore. And I asked him a few questions, and I said to him, but how is the shutter curtain? How is the camera? Does the camera function? And that's where it all falls apart, where they're like, hey, it's just meant for display purposes, not really. So then you run into the issue of that these guys aren't painting up working cameras. They're painting up not so much working cameras. And that killed me, because those babushka doll cameras look amazing. Absolutely.
You know,
and they do the lens as well.
If you buy 10 Helios lenses, you're going to find one that's really good. So my thought is, you buy 10 babushka painted cameras. One of them is probably going to be working.
You know what? That would be, for someone who loves creating merch, that would be a great T-shirt to have. You buy 10 Russian cameras and one of them will work. That's great. I love that. That's so true. If you've ever bought one, you know. If you know, you know. But yeah, the painted cameras are amazing. But hey, everyone, let's be honest, all of us would give our left nut for an army green camera, right? Army green cameras, and boy, are they expensive. Today I saw the first ever
one.
Contax RX. You can get a Contax RX green camera, and man, 3.5K plus. You might as well buy a Leica. What's the go with green cameras, guys? And should we all just paint our cameras green and sell them on for 10 times what they're originally worth?
Hey, sounds like a plan. Maybe when I do a video about my OM1, I should do that. Green OM1, everybody, buy it.
Paint your OM1?
I think it's honestly stupid as hell to paint your camera. I mean, you know, I get it. You want a fancy toy. I think it's just as stupid when you have a fancy gun looking cool, like you have a CSGO skin in real life. Fuck that. I mean, you want to go out and take pictures. You really, you know, I mean, maybe it's just this, you know, I feel like everything I look through with the lens of street photography, the pure is like, okay, maybe if you're like a David LaChapelle and you show up with a fucking diamond encrusted Hasselblad, then it makes sense, you know. Bada bing, I got a picture. But if you're out in the streets trying to take a picture, you really want to be showing off and standing out.
He didn't even shoot with Hasselblad. He shot with Pentax 645, okay?
Okay, well, I don't know, dude. I'm not a student of photography. I'm just a rebel. I'm the renegade. I'm the bad boy.
You beat up here in Minneapolis. I don't know about where you live in Texas, but if you showed up in your shit meeting format with a Pentax 645, like, no one's talking to you at the photography meetup.
Why? What's wrong with the Pentax 645? It looks like a dope camera.
Up the rules, buddy.
So what is it about Minnesota that hates the Pentax 645?
I don't know, dude. How many people showed up with a Pentax 645 at Beers and Cameras? Nobody.
I didn't see one, but
645.
it looks like a cool camera. I would love to
Yeah,
have
but
one.
no one show up with one. I don't make the rules, but
I don't get it.
Tell me
What is
more
this
about your
inside joke
Tesla.
here? I feel like this is a thing. What is
I,
going on here? It's lost on me.
maybe because it looks ugly. I mean, it's an ugly looking camera. It's not called a Hasselblad.
So there were a few Hasselblads at the Beers and Cameras, everybody. There was a
Yeah,
Hasselblad SWC, and I took some footage of some guy taking a picture of Jason
I,
with
I,
an SWC, a wide
they're
Hasselblad.
absolutely
I think I sent it to you,
they're
Alexander.
capable
Um,
cameras, just like the Mamiya 645s, but they're not Hasselblads, and people don't want them.
so what are you saying? A Mamiya 645 is more socially acceptable than a Pentax 645?
I'm not. I'm all about inclusivity, diversity, in, inclusivity.
Okay,
E-
but from your opinion, what would you rather shoot? A Mamiya 645 or a Pentax 645? What's the ideal 645 system?
Probably contacts.
I didn't even know Contax made a
Yeah,
645. I'm a
they
noob.
make 645. They do.
Whoa, Mingo coming in hot. 645 is a useless format. What do you guys think? Is 645 might as well just shoot 35? What do you guys
You
think?
I think
know what?
645
645.
format.
Sorry.
It's a compromise, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
it was towards the end. You could shoot digital on 645, and they're never back big 645 digitally. So it's like a
It's Well, let's get real for a second. 645 is the half frame of medium format world. It's a
yeah.
half frame camera in the medium format world, and it is. Listen to me carefully. It is crap. I do not like 645, except for the Fuji 645ZI or the 645GW or whatever the hell you want to call it. Those Fuji cameras are great. They're pocketable, they're small, they're zingy, and they're better quality than a 35mm.
Oh, they
Like,
had
yeah.
those.
So I
Those
think
are the
in that
bellows.
sense,
Those are
good.
the ones with the bellows on them, right? The rangefinders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Some
was
do,
about
some
to
do, some
say
don't.
because I feel like the only 645 I've really been able to treat as not precious is my M645 because you get so many shots with it, and it's still like sizably way bigger than a freaking 35 mil negative. Even though people say you might as well just shoot 35, I feel like it's still a step up.
Again,
But
that
the
goes back to printing as
M645,
well.
especially the old metal ones, they're just freaking. It's heavy. It's prohibitively heavy. I've tried to go out and shoot street with it, and it's just like you stand out with a sore thumb with this big old honking thing with the left hand grip, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing, you dingus, out here trying to take street photos, you idiot? And
Big dingus energy.
so I feel like I guess I was about to say, I feel like the only thing I probably would love 645 on is one of those Fuji point and shoot 645 things.
They're
You
the
know,
best.
yeah, I would love to try one out.
Yep. And you know what? Talk to your boy. Who's that other YouTuber? Sweet Lou Photography. He just got a ZI back again, a Fuji ZI back again, and he's died on him, and I think that burnt him pretty bad. But he's got one back, so that says something.
I'll have to ask him about it, man.
Just saying.
Well, fucking, we run the gamut, guys. We've talked about this and that. I mean, fucking,
Just warm up.
huh?
It's good. It's been good. We're just warming up. Someone said RB67 over a Hassi. That was very negative. Now, if I can
Ooh.
just say, they're two different. They are two different beasts for two different purposes. RB67, right? Now remember this before I get into this. Remember, a Hassi is 6x6, right? So a lot of people, including Grainy Days, they won't shoot 6x6 because they'll tell you that that's bad. Now, 6x6 is gorgeous because think of album covers. All album covers are 6x6. It's the square format, baby. It's gorgeous. Most Hassis are 6x6. RB67 is a different format, so that's where the 6x7 has a little bit of an advantage over it. Now, the 6x7, RB67, is more of a working man's camera. it's for us mortals. I think it's a fantastic camera. If I had to choose between the HC or the RB67, the RB67 would be for work, for day-to-day living. That would be my camera. That is the Toyota Camry of cameras. Fantastic camera. Image quality is the best image quality for that price. For that price point, it is absolutely the best image quality you will get at that price point. The HC, different. It's a different beast. It's made for the luxurious. It's made for those people who want to enjoy life. They just want to take it easy. They want to also have that glam. They want the glam look as well. And of course, the lenses are amazing. You're kind of comparing two completely different cameras. For price-wise, go the RB67 every day of the week. Best camera, best bang for buck. Freaking mate, you could weigh down your boat with that. It's the boat anchor, greatest camera. HC, if you've got the money, if you've got the funds, go the HC. It's really just where are you on that scale of what do you guys
Okay.
think?
I mean,
Speaking about on what scale, frickin' okay, Alexander, as somebody who has both, and factor in, do you like, okay, when you're weighing both, okay, if you had to live without one for the rest of your life, I'm sure you'd pick the Hasselblad, but also factor into your response. Do you shoot to crop on 6x6? What are you doing? Or or are you trying to be like, oh, I want to frame this in a perfect square frame? What the hell is going on with your thoughts on RB67 v Hossie?
yeah, that's really great question. From a historical standpoint, the RB67 and the RZ. I don't have the RB. I didn't like the RB. It's too heavy. I like the RZ67. But blowing that up, you almost don't have to crop it all to get the same ratio as what you'd get on like the full size cover on a magazine, which is important. So it's like if you shot for magazines and you wanted a full page, it made sense to shoot 6x7 over 6x6 because you didn't have to factor in a crop. Um, if you shot like something like portraits, or if you shot weddings traditionally and how they shot them back then, you'd shoot 6x6 to crop on purpose, and then the 2 extra frames saves you money. So I mean that was a big factor back then. So it's like quality wise, it's like I don't know. It's kind of, it's like you're gonna get a bigger negative with the 6.7 versus the 6x6. The 6x6 hospital lenses are arguably a little bit better. The RZ lenses I think are way better than the Hasselblad lenses. Personally, from
Okay, well, that's not what you fucking told me when you convinced me to buy the Hasselblad, you asshole.
yeah, I'm not denying that. Okay, but no, the Hasselblad are great.
Fucking gotcha. Got him.
Hasselblad's great. Seikor, but Seikor.
If I had to get rid of them, if I could only shoot like roll film, I would stick with the Hasselblad. But for the most part, like I shoot with the RZ to shoot Instax square because I have an Instax square back for it, and it crops perfect, and it's like this is sweet.
So why don't you shoot Instax? Isn't there like a nons back for the
Yeah.
Hossie? You don't do Instax on the Hossie?
It doesn't fill the full. It doesn't fill the full thing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, like a little.
So,
And
but which one have you made better work on real film?
It's it's same
Samesies?
Z's.
You can't pick. You can't pick a
I
favorite.
can't.
yeah, but
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
You
Well,
said if you were only shooting roll film, you'd pick the Hossie. What is factoring into that? It's not your work. It's just the experience of fucking with
No,
it.
I just really like shooting 50 millimeters on 6x6.
fair.
Yeah.
I haven't even
And
tried yet, even though you sold me that lens, dude. I'm gonna have to get down to it.
50 millimeter on 6x6, like that's sweet.
Yeah.
It's like
I totally.
it's like shooting 28 millimeters on 35, but it's square. So like you get more real estate, but it's 28 millimeters. And you don't
You're
have to
such a fucking square.
you don't turn the camera 28 all around.
And doesn't it
Yeah,
also
that's what I
factor in?
like, dude. Frickin' when you think about RZ, RBV, Hasi, it's like fucking. Well, you got the
No,
rotating thing with the
I
one.
take
There's so many things about
RV, throw
creativity,
it in the chat.
paralysis of choice, and one
Man,
one choice you can get rid of to help you be more creative is rotating. I'm sorry to just be talking over you right now. I just want to get this point out. But even the fact of this v that, like even just taking that out of the equation, that's the one thing I like about Square is it don't matter. You don't have to do this or that. It is what it is. Just bring it up to your eye. Because I feel like the more choices you can take out of the equation and the more you can, give yourself constraints, the more creative you can be. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on freaking just, I mean, you can finish your thoughts on all the RB Cassie stuff, but I'm a
um,
big proponent of freaking just putting yourself within constraints to be more creative because I feel like that definitely helps me. Too many choices always fucking puts me in a stupor. I'll be right back.
I mean, I mostly take pictures of people, so it's like 6, 7 vertically makes more sense to me to shoot square.
Yeah,
Because I
I
mean,
totally agree.
people don't. I mean, you don't. It's not normal to go buy square frames. It's like, but it's common to go have an 8x10 hanging up in your house, and 6, 7, crops to 8x10 real easy.
Yeah, totally agree. And I suppose the other side to that is I feel like the Mamiya is better on every possible metric you want to measure it on. But I would assume, and Alex, correct me if I'm wrong here, if you're still there, is I assume the HC doesn't feel like as much work as the Mamiya does. I'm assuming the HC feels more like a pleasure. It's more of a fun, romantic camera, whereas the Mamiya is more of a workhorse.
The RZ is a little bit more technical because you have to consider bellows factor.
Yeah.
So when you close focusing with it, like sometimes you have to compensate by a half stop to a full stop, which is something to consider where the Hasselblad you never have to worry about that unless you're using extend, which you're already going to. So I mean, it's just working.
Good point.
But I mean, if you're only going to shoot with one lens, it's like if you like shooting with lots of different focal lengths, it's like the RZ and the RB. It's like RZ lenses and RB lenses are cheap, and Hasselblad lenses, it's like you could go buy a whole RB camera for one Hasselblad lens.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Mamiya is cheap, man. Seiko lenses. And I saw this guy's video. It's a Spanish guy, and he has these Spanish videos. And he talks about the Mamiya Deluxe 35. Have you heard about that one? Mamiya Deluxe 35 has a Seiko lens on it. It's a compact rangefinder with a fixed lens, and I believe correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's a 50 mil 1.4, 1.5, and it's the Seiko Deluxe, and it's a beautiful lens, and it's one of the greatest rangefinder fixed lens cameras back in the 70s when everyone was making fixed lens rangefinders.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Check it out. Mamiya Deluxe
What about
35.
the Minolta V2? That's my number one fixed lens rangefinder.
Ooh. Yeah, the V2 is a good
1950
one.
something. Nice.
V2 is nice. Doesn't compare to the Konica 3A, but it's a very nice camera.
Look at
Yeah,
you with your deep running knowledge, man. I don't know shit about any of this camera stuff, dude. How do you guys know so much? Do you guys just sit around freaking eBay searching things all the time?
Mirror.com or
Here.com?
MIR.
ETone, big time.
Is that
It's
like
like
an
Hard R on the
TV?
yeah, but I mean, once you get like a Leica M6 and a 21 millimeter of 2.8 spherical Elmar, like it's
done.
Okay, well, you keep talking about this, but I don't think you've even showed the live chat what you have branded on your M6. Are you willing to show the people what you have on there?
yeah. I'll take the viewfinder off so you can see it in its full glory for whoever really cares. But I think it's only one chat.
Yeah.
It just
Look at that, everybody. LoPresti Productions has its own Leica M6. That's right. If you haven't bought your own LoPresti Production stickers, your own LoPro stickers, go to madebylopro.com right now. Get yourself some stickers, some amazing stickers that were handcrafted by me. It took me months to find the right supplier to make these stickers, die cut them and everything. And I designed them like I was working so hard. I worked myself to the bone. I really tried hard. So thank you, 7 people, for watching. And you should go buy my stickers at madebylopro.com. That's madebylopro.com. MADEBYLOPRO.com. Go check out my store. Buy my stickers. Thank you. Anyway.
Anyone use promo code JustyBoy10 for 10% off on any LoPro stickers. Also,
okay, I gotta go type that in.
That I only put the sticker on there to send a single story to make someone smile one day, and then I forgot about it, and now I can't get the sticker off because the stickers are that good of quality. Like, it's stuck on.
Yeah.
It's gonna come off.
That's how you know. Even somebody, you have to be careful with the stickers you buy from madebylopro.com. You have to be careful because they're never going to come off. They're that good. They're never going to come off. They've been on my car for months now, and they're never going to come off.
No, it's a life decision. It's a life decision. And don't forget, guys, #Shutterslaps to get 0% discount on the LoPresti stickers. I vouch for them. And this is the thing about LoPresti stickers, is the background. Notice the background? I actually use the background of the stickers to then design my cameras because the background has the LoPresti logo. And this is the thing about LoPresti. Prior to him starting film photography, a lot of people don't know this. But that logo, very lo-fi, very CRT monitor, very much, a lot of design went into that. So I personally, not only do I enjoy the stickers, but I enjoy the background as well. That has been very, very beautifully crafted.
You got the LoPro Bortra stickers, man. The fucking trash can bangers, all that shit. Fucking buy the shit. By the way, if you didn't know, if you buy my fucking stickers, you also get a handwritten note on something like this, and I tell you I love you, and we're gonna be together forever. And I hand sign it so you can forge my signature on checks, and so you can clean me out. So there you go. And
my garbage, you fucking weirdo.
What?
Yeah, that's what mine said.
What did it say?
Stop going through my trash.
Stop going through my trash.
Yeah. Great, you figured out trash days on Wednesday. Stop going through it in the middle of the night. It's kind of weird.
Sorry, man. I do my research.
I'll talk to you anyways.
Yeah. Heck, mine said the opposite. Mine was like, why aren't you going through my trash, you freak? And I was like, damn, I got to start getting up early in the morning now on Wednesdays.
Is that
no Pantone colors, Lambo? No Pantone. I just did CMYK, baby. Yeah, I'll put my credit card number. Just order it, and I'll put it on there. I might move a few digits around, so you have to work for it. Okay, badly. Just go ahead to madebylopro.com. Buy my stuff. I'm also going to put other stuff on there, guys. It's gonna be good. I'll eventually put some of my photos on my website. As a photographer, you'd think I'd have my portfolio on there, but I'm waiting for Squarespace to get in touch with me before I really talk about building your portfolio on Squarespace, the all-in-one, award-winning website building platform.
Inclusive space.
Use promo code LoPro for 10% off your first purchase of your website off Squarespace.com.
Hey, I should go for Pfizer.
Pfizer, that's where I got my jab because I was brainwashed. Anyway, let's keep moving on.
I mean, there's enough people who are sponsored by Squarespace. How many people are sponsored by Pfizer on YouTube? Not enough.
Not enough people by Pfizer. What about Johnson & Johnson on Squarespace?
Yeah. Why not go for the big fish?
Yeah, go for the big fish.
Good one.
Well, you know what? I want to get sponsored by Halliburton. That's my goal.
Oh, and the CCCP.
The CCCP? Is that China or something? Okay, I'm bringing you guys with me just for you guys get to see a unique tour of the back of the ranch.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the CCP want to sponsor you.
Yeah, this video is sponsored by.
Yeah,
This video
it's
is
hey,
brought to you by the military industrial complex.
yeah, the CCP. They don't pay great, but we all get the same anyway. That's fantastic, guys. I feel like those 8 people that are still watching us, which I don't believe are real people, but whoever's watching us, they're getting first-rate content. They are literally getting the best. Oh, look at that. What's that?
Wow.
Oh, nice.
It's already in the works, baby.
Yeah, you thought I was the federal agent in this group.
Yeah, dude, we know you're a fucking psyop up in here, Alexander, trying to tell everybody to waste their money on cameras so they don't have money to buy ammunition for the fucking war that's coming.
He's just trying to get us to not think about the chupacabra that's coming.
Yeah, the goat sucker, dude. I know that's the real fucking psyop.
Yo, carbs. He's on his way. But no, it's been great, guys. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've spoken about a lot.
Yeah,
Like
we've talked about fucking everything. Just like, is this even a photography podcast? I don't even know what's going on right now.
I have a real question right now.
Okay, what's up?
What was the camera that was used in Pokemon Snap on N64?
that's such a good camera. Oh,
Yeah.
such
Pokemon Snap.
So when did the game come out?
It
When
had
was that?
infinite focus, like always.
I'm going to say it's a Nikon W100 digital camera. Weatherproof. It has to be weatherproof to deal with the lava and all that. Yeah, I'd say a Nikon W100, the digital weatherproof camera. What do you reckon?
I never had Pokemon Snap. I didn't get N64 as a kid.
Oh, you poor thing.
All right. Let's go through it. What Nintendo did you have?
I had Super Nintendo.
Hey, Super Nintendo is
Donkey
great.
Kong Country?
Yeah,
Street
I
Fighter.
on Country. It was too hard.
I never beat it.
It's too hard.
Mario. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Donkey Kong's
tough.
hard.
World either. That game is too hard. Like they made the games too hard.
Yeah.
I thought it's because they made them too well and they made them too hard. I think it's I've now come to the conclusion that they just sucked at making games.
No, the reason they made games so hard back in the day was because there was no patching, there was no downloading new content, there was no online play. So they had to make them hard so that you would keep playing them, so you'd get your money's worth out of them. So if you paid frickin' like $60 for a game back in 1990 money, which is like, I don't know, God, like $5,000 now, you'd fucking want to get your money's worth out of it. So you want to make it hard as fuck to beat.
Yeah.
That's so true. Remember Dr. Mario?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about Dr. Mario anymore.
I didn't even understand what the game was.
Well,
it was like Tetris.
Is that what it was?
It was like Tetris. Dr. Mario was the best. And Duck Boy? What was it called? The Duck one? Duck Hunt. Contra? Paperboy? Oh, now you got me started.
Duck Hunt.
Yeah, you boys would have loved Duck Hunt with all your guns.
I love Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt was the best.
Yeah, I love Duck Hunt.
Well, you're a Super Mario guy. You're lucky to have a Super Nintendo. That was amazing, man.
Yeah,
you didn't have a Nintendo.
I didn't have any of the Mario games. All I had was Donkey Kong Country. My dad bought me the Super Nintendo when I was a kid, and he never bought me another game.
What most people don't understand is Super Mario World was actually just Mario 4.
Well, there's Super Mario 2, which was just some they just put Mario in another game that was made in Japan.
Yeah, and he wasn't actually saying Itsumi Mario. He was saying Itsumi Mario, which is Itsumu in Japanese is super. So he was saying Mario.
Super Mario.
Yeah, he wasn't saying Itsumi Mario.
But you know what? what? That's the great thing about language is it kind of works both ways.
Yeah,
And then
I
they
was talking
have
to this Russian guy
they have
today. So I'm half
Like
Filipino,
what?
and then my mom would say every time she was cooking, she got burned. She'd say, "Ay pala putay na ina," which in English translates to "goddamn son of a bitch." And
okay.
this Russian, I was telling him, was like, hey, Filipinos and Russians have the same swear word, and it's "blat," because in Russian that means damn. So like "suka blat," that means like bitch whore, in Russian.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's magic. That's
Yeah.
like inspirational.
Countries didn't even contact each other until like the 1970s.
Really?
That's how you know ancient civilizations were real, man, because of the Younger Dryas theory, and then swearing is the same across borders.
If you go beyond that and you look at pagan culture, they all have the same gods throughout everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all kind of look the same, and those people
Well,
can talk to each other.
well, like, do they look the same, or are people
Yeah,
just not really good at making gods, and they just all kind of come out with a very
They all
similar
have
that
kind of,
beards and the robes,
and they
and
all look like
they're letting their
penises?
throat hang out the bottom of the robe.
fertility god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bail. Yeah, fair.
Hey, Alexander, I think you might have a hot take on this. I'm sorry for cutting us off from this esoteric frickin' Y files rant we're going down right now, but
Love it.
so the
sugar
Anunnaki, not just
sugar.brown.ryan wants to know
yeah.
what's our take on the frickin' what is it? Was it him that asked that? On the I'm back film back thing. What's your take on that shit?
On the I'm back.
Oh no, wait, it was badly metered that wants to know, not Sugar
Oh
Brown.
god, the I'm back thing.
Yeah. What's your take? You can get real, dude. No one's gonna watch
I
this other
I
than the
thought
8 people
the
that are already
back
here.
stuff 10 years ago, and like nothing's really happened since then. I think it's just some dude. He's just like, I mean, I want it to be a thing. Like, I, I want to be able to put in some roll, and it has some like shitty sensor, and I hope one day you can take like a 35 millimeter camera roll, and that's the whole computer, and then the sensor's as thin as a piece of 35 millimeter film, and you can make your old 35 millimeter cameras work again. But
It
that's
doesn't have to be as thin as the film. You could take the backing plate off. You could take
but
the
that's what
tension
I
plate
want.
off.
That's what I
Why
want.
would you?
But
That's what I want too.
but the thing is like there's no real product, and there hasn't ever been a real product. And I think it's some guy, and he's building stuff, and he has prototypes, and that's what he does for fun, and that's really cool, and that's all it is.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
have you noticed how janky it looks? Like even with the ones he's coming out with, like you have to get something that looks like an auto winder plugged in at the bottom too, not just the thing that goes in there. You also have to get like an auto winder, like a full brain.
Yeah,
Not only do
no,
you
it
put
just
something back here, you also have to put something down here too,
no,
and it just looks janky as
like,
fuck. And I've thought about this before I ever saw the I'm back thing. I've thought about like, okay, I just want to order like a Nikon D70 full frame sensor off of eBay for like freaking $50 or whatever it takes to get it here, and then figure out the coding and shit and figure that out myself. Like I would
I
love,
mean,
if I was smart enough, I would love to figure that shit out myself to make that fucking happen, you know?
I mean, the guy is probably a genius, but like essentially all he's making, he's basically just remaking the old Kodak digital sensor backs that you'd attach to like old like Nikon and Canon cameras, and then he's sometimes adapting it to other cameras because that's what Kodak was doing in the 90s, in the early 2000s.
They're good. The CCD sensors.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you could go get a like a Nikon F90, and Kodak made it back. You take the back off, and then you'd have a digital back.
It's the same thing. Yeah, he's just doing an idea that's 30 years old,
Yeah,
and he's redoing it. But this is the question. This is the thing that
cool.
blows my mind. Is that these people are like, oh yeah, boy, you can use digital in a film camera, and it's kind of like you're missing the point, because obviously digital, it's going to blow the highlights. It's not going to look the same. Whereas film, it kind of retains highlights, blows the lowlights. It's not the same. You can't just put a digital sensor inside of a camera and be like, "Whoa, we're shooting film." It's you're kind of
Well,
losing the
I
point.
love
Just shoot a
it as the
digital camera.
idea of a more sexier fucking, like shutter speed tester thing. Like, I love it as, as somebody like me who's addicted to going and thrifting for film cameras. I'm going all the time looking for cameras. I feel like I've fine-tuned my senses to be able to go through an antique mall in 5 minutes, like through 10,000 square fucking feet, and being able to see anything that looks like a lens or a camera in
Yes,
any booth,
good
lickety
man,
split. And like, that's what I do.
good man.
And I want to be able to take that home, put a fucking I'm back in it, and see if it fucking works without wasting a roll of film on it. You know what I
Oh,
mean? That's what I feel like is its product, is its target market, someone like me. And I love the idea of that. But it
wow.
just feels like, he's posting all these stories of
Yeah, it
him
doesn't
in China
think this.
doing all these fucking, like, it was showing the factory and doing what it's doing, and I don't know.
China,
Like, is it
China,
a China? Is it ever gonna be
China.
something? I don't know.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, from like, I don't know if this was brought up on the live, but like you guys asked me before, it's like, uh, I mean, I make a living doing photography, so it's like I trade my time and stuff like that to make money for something that I love, and that trying to changes like your relationship between like doing something that you really love doing, but then you have to make money doing it. Um, for me, like there's times like I go shoot film because it's like it's just for me, and then I can focus on just photography because it's not about making money, and that helps. Or it's like uh, I got I gotta like a digital rangefinder because it's like sometimes in certain jobs it's like I'm shooting a film camera, but it's digital, so it doesn't cost me money, so I can still profit off doing the job that way, but I still get to experience like photography the old way. So it's like the I am back stuff's kind of like that, but it's like it's just not the quality shit.
Yeah.
I mean, just to put it, it's like the qual like you're not gonna gig on an I am back camera. It's just gonna be for fun.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's for fun or for testing some random film camera you just picked up. But I mean, touching on that, I totally forgot. I wanted to ask you about that, man. I mean, as somebody who does make their living off of photography, something that I feel like, most of us can only dream about. Yeah, a lot of people can, they find their niche, whether it be wedding or event shit, and can, for the most part, make their living off that. I know I'm far from it. I'm having to be a fucking internet clown to try and make some kind of money, which is just chump change at this point. But like, know, do you ever find yourself fucking like burnt out? Like fucking like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? You ever fucking like wake up one day and be like, I don't want to fucking do shit? And then how do you fucking, is that something that you've done so many times now that you like, how to get yourself back out of that little slump? Because right now I feel like I'm honestly in a content slump. I'm in like, oh, what have I done? And I kind of feel like I need to branch out of just doing film photography content. And I need to start doing like, you know, I don't know, comedy content, just being silly, and then just do, save film stuff for just being fun. And, I don't know. I feel like I've fallen into the trap of fucking using the thing I like to get people to like me. And now it's becoming a job, you know?
Oh no, I get that. I mean, for me, some of it's like I shoot different formats because of that. So it's like, I mean, if you shoot with a rangefinder versus you shoot with an SLR, it's like a rangefinder forces you to see differently, so you experience photography differently. Um, if you're shooting with a medium format waist level camera, you experience photography differently. if you're shooting with a large format camera, you're gonna experience photography differently. So it's like if you only experience it in one way, a DSLR or a mirrorless camera that's digital, it becomes really redundant really quick, and that changes the whole thing. And then the other thing is, it's like now I try to look at it. It's like, okay, some of the work that I do is like, this is for money, and I'm doing this to go fund my art. And the work that I'm doing for money is not my art. It's just to go fund art. So then it's like, now I have motivation to go do that type of work. So I just, you just disassociate yourself with like a different group. So it's like, yeah, so it's like, it's like I shoot a couple of weddings a year, but I just look, it's like cool.
But
Like,
the secret's out. I didn't think you were even going to drop that knowledge. I didn't think you
yeah,
wanted anyone to know.
no, yeah. So I shoot a couple of weddings a year, and it's like, cool. I shoot one wedding, and it's gonna go pay my bills for a month, and like, that's cool. So I gotta go sacrifice that time to go do that, and then the rest of the time I can go spend and I can make art.
And do you feel
So,
like that dissociation keeps you from falling down like that trap of fucking, being like, oof, like what is even the point? Because like, I'm not saying I'm depressed or anything, but like lately, especially after this big trip I did, and then coming back to the ranch, okay, so I felt like I was letting momentum take me through this whole content thing for a while, and I'm having fun with it. But then after getting to step away from my desk and like getting introspective and thinking about what the fuck I'm really doing and coming back, it's kind of hard for me to hit the ground running again. And things that were taking me like that to do are taking me days. So like, do you feel like this dissociation and you drawing a line in the sand between this type of creative work and that type keeps you from falling into a little mental pit?
I no, I get what you mean, because like, there's like that blurry spot between it. Um, but at the end of the day, if I think about like, why am I doing this? It's not about money. Money is just there to like provide me to do what I want to do. So it's like money is like equals like opportunity, or like money equals like it allows me to do X, Y, Z. But I'm not trying, like, if money didn't exist, I would still do this whole thing. So it's like, but you still have to make money at the end of the day. So it's like, cool, I'll go do this thing for money, and then I can go do the other things that don't involve money. Or it's like, if it costs me money, it's like, I don't necessarily see it as, like I'm trading time for money or whatever, if that makes sense.
But at
Bad.
the end of the day, do you have any like big grandiose like fucking signposts that are way down the line that are like, I could get money for this thing, but it's also an artistic thing, something that's like a fucking 10-year plan type goal that's like that you're shooting for, like is like, fucking you, I don't know, like directing a thing or whatever. I mean, I don't know how big you want to get about it, but like some big cinema thing or some big fucking stills thing, like anything that's outside of the grasp of what you can like pull off now. Do you have anything like that down the line that you're like shooting for?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, financially, I mean, definitely the goal would be to like not have to worry about like working for a living, um, or like making enough where it's like, I mean, I know like from like a commercial photographer standpoint, they're at the very very high end. There are people who work like under 50 days or 40 days a year of billable days a year, and they're pulling six figures. So it's like you're charging a lot for that time. But there's also that trap where it's like, because most people, you go into a job and it's like, I make X amount of dollars per hour. So that means you're trading your time for money. Another way to look at it is like, a lot of people have an iPhone in your pocket. When you went into that store and bought an iPhone, you're not thinking, oh, the person selling me this iPhone, they had to put in X amount of time to do that job. Because what you're buying at the end of the day is a product. So if you're making art, what you're selling is a product. You're not selling your time. You're selling a product. So when you can think of it differently in that way, where it's like, I'm selling a product, I'm not selling my time, it's not a big stretch to sell. It's not a big stretch to say it's like, okay, I'm making X amount of dollars to go produce this thing. Does that make sense?
I mean, I'm trying to wrap my brain around that fucking product v time thing you just said. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to bridge that gap between what you were trying to say there. Like I feel like with any creative endeavor, like no matter how, even if you spent a lot of time, made a thing, and now it's just a thing that's ready to sell, and you can sell it until you fucking go blue in the face. Like it's still something that took you a bunch of R&D, and so whatever time you put into getting it ready to sell is always going to factor into whatever it takes to sell. Especially as a small business thing, I get it as like at scale, Apple scale, like fucking. Yeah, you can scale it down to the fucking at cost or fucking how many child slaves you had to fucking mine the lithium batteries for your iPhone to fucking, get on the stores, the shelves for the geniuses to sell. Like, yeah, that's a whole different fucking concept as compared to what we're talking about here. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, at some point, if you like, thinking of like the scale of like people who get paid on YouTube because like you're doing YouTube, and like think of someone like who's like the top YouTuber, like Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
So it's like he goes makes a video, like he brings in millions. It doesn't mean he's necessarily making that per hour. It's just like that's what the product that he's producing is bringing in. So like, I know that he takes most of that money to go produce another product. They just keep the whole thing funded and everything like that. But it's like, it's not in the mindset of like, I'm trading my time to make X amount of dollars per hour.
Yeah.
It's just
Keeping a whole
you're
fucking thing afloat.
yeah.
But at the but
Just
also he's not I don't know if he's trying to fund like making art, like which I feel is like the differentiator between something like I feel like he is more of in the product space because he's like out there being like, okay, fucking if somebody wants to sponsor this video, it's going to cost you this many millions of dollars because this is how many millions of dumb idiot kids are going to watch it. I mean, I don't know. This whole content thing is weird, man. I couldn't imagine like a year ago being in this space, like fucking starting to think about fucking sponsors and shit and like getting all these weird spammy emails and whatnot. And trying to think of what's worth my time to like brand. Do I really want some freaking stupid Chinese flash manufacturer to be perpetually embedded in the middle of some episode I just spent like weeks creating and like putting my blood, sweat, and tears into just because they wanted to give me fucking $300? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really think
Oh,
that's worth it.
which flash manufacturer are you talking about?
Zanico.
What?
Zanico. They make like cheapo $30, $40 flashes. Fucking They're like little compact things. They're like that big.
I mean,
I mean,
that new Kodak's one, like the MI30 something, like things were pretty legit.
yeah, I'd be more happier if it was a Godox. Fucking, I'm talking to Newer about some shit, but I don't know. They want to send me some lav mics, and like that's it. Just like I don't know. I know I don't want to feel complainy, guys. Here, chat. Like I'm not trying to complain. I feel like I'm definitely privileged to be in the spot I am, to be having people reach out and be like, "Here, take my product." But at the end of the day, it's just like,
Yeah,
I know I put a lot of work into my shit.
personally, I would sponsor something from Newer.
You wouldn't take a sponsor
No,
from Newer? Nah.
No.
no, no,
No.
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 Okay. Well, maybe. Well, dude, why
That's
not, dude? I mean, look at this. Look
no.
at this. What's wrong with Newer? I have a Newer light right here. Fucking, that's the main light for me. Well, actually, that's not the main light. This is the light that lights me in all my videos. Is the Godox. This is just some bullshit secondary. This is the one that does my rim lighting.
So this is sponsored by Newer, is what you're saying?
No, it's not. I bought that with my own money.
No,
Yes.
No.
no,
No.
Yes.
no, no.
Yes, Queen. Yes.
Hey guys, can I just interject for just a second? Even though you guys were going in a poignant direction,
Yeah.
I just want to, at this juncture, I just want to say thanks, Alex, for absolutely being so transparent and so giving so much good information. I really, really do appreciate that. That's awesome. Step one. Step two, LoPresti, you're doing a fantastic job, man. And I think what you create is very, very important. And I think there's always going to be a plateau. There's always going to be that moment where you feel like momentum maybe isn't moving forward. However, that's nature, isn't it? Because even if you go to the gym, you're going to get a lot of movement to start with. Then you're going to hit that plateau. And it's just about working through that dead spot, working through that plateau. Keep moving forward, because I think you're onto bigger and better things. I think you are exactly what this little niche market needs is a bit of a fresh air, a breath of fresh air into this otherwise stale analog photography market. And then my follow-up thought and slash question is, you asked Alex, hey Alex, what is your end goal? What is your most, if you could dream as big as you want, what is your end goal? I want to put that thought back onto you, Alex. I feel LoPresti's got a bit of a thought here. What is your end goal, LoPresti? What is your, are you wanting to get into that director world? Have you got a movie in your mind? Is there something you want to produce that you sort of haven't led on to at this stage?
I mean, nothing specific. I mean, honestly, like I told you guys, I have kind of like been getting really introspective after this this trip I took, and thinking about like what is the future of this channel. And I kind of feel like at the end of the day, if I really want to support a lifestyle just off of this content stuff alone, I feel like I can't stay within this very small market of film stuff. Not saying that I'd ever abandon it, but I feel like I do need to broaden my horizons. And I feel like what is at the root of it all, and I feel bringing comedy to it, bringing just kind of an irreverent vibe. And I feel like what is more pure of that than, like, I don't know. There is a big, comedy renaissance golden age going on, like very close to home to me in Austin, Texas. If anyone watches Kill Tony, like fucking everybody and their mom is moving to Austin, Texas to do comedy. And not saying I'm anywhere close to being able to go on stage of Kill Tony and do a minute, but fucking, I feel like I have always been a fan of stand up. And I feel like at least trying to be a comedy influencer, or not just, I hate that fucking influencer word. But anyway, I'm just saying I need to broaden my fucking niche, get more eyeballs on my shit so I can make money and make a fucking living. And if I can treat that as a way of fucking, okay, let me make some stupid brain rot for the masses instead of just film nerds to be able to fund going out and playing with my film cameras. Maybe that's what I got to do. Draw a line in the sand like Alexander does. This is to make money. This is to make art. Maybe that's what I fucking need to do for my soul is, just make some stupid comedy fucking stuff and make myself into a clown for the world, for one side to make money, and then be able to also supplement that with, going out and making art with this shit. Maybe that's what I want to do. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Like, I have never had the chance to work with a team to create a real vision. And, I would love to go hang out with Alexander fucking sometime and be able to see what it's fucking like because he has experience in that world. And I don't know, fucking, I'd love to just like hang out with him and have drinks and maybe hey, let's stay up all night and fucking write a screenplay, dude. I don't know, fucking something. I don't know. The world is my oyster if I let it be.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, even with that, like, you draw that line. It's still, it doesn't mean you can't still be authentic to the work that you're creating or anything like that. It's just like, just like for me, it kind of just changes like the sacrifice that you're making to put towards that work is just different. If that makes any sense. So
Yeah, I get
it's like,
it. I mean, I've just been trying, like I feel like what I'm sacrificing currently in this scheme of how I'm approaching things is just, I'm sacrificing stability because right now I'm barely making shit, like from YouTube ad money and the few like little brand collaborations I've gotten, like definitely not enough to support myself from. So if I really want to be bringing in that money, I need to be hounding sponsors and to be able to get to that point quicker. Like I feel like if I hold out and be like, okay, I want to be like Grainy Days, making a living just doing film photography content, it's gonna be fucking years before I can be at a point of like 100,000 followers or whatever. Yeah, maybe not if I get something viral or whatever, but at this point, I feel like I'm able to reach people with the kind of things that I think are funny. Uh, that probably would be more ubiquitous than just film stuff. So maybe if I focus on making content that isn't just about that, like, I feel like the easiest way for me to branch out would just be at least to start doing some digital fucking content. Some like, cause like, there's way more wannabe photographers than there are wannabe film photographers. And there's way more wannabe photographers in general than there are actual photographers. So I don't know. It's just like the world we live in and how many people are out there and how many people want to pay attention to what the fuck you're putting out there, Like I know I feel like I've made waves. I've reached every corner of the analog market at this point. I've like, made contacts with the Dark Room, with Grainy Days, with Caleb, with all the fucking big players, but it's a small pond and there's only so much meat on that bone. So if I really want to make money off it, I gotta fucking figure that out.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Real
Takes us back to the
talk
front.
up in here, man. Real talk.
It's good. And man, you should branch out. You should go into other things. Keep this going. I'd love to see digital work. I'd love to see. You know what I saw yesterday was Tom Green. And I don't know if you remember, but Tom Green had exhibit on his talk show. He's the father of talk shows, vlogs, whatever you want to call it. And Tom Green just dropped out some raps. He did some just straight out raps in front of exhibit, and they were going back and forth with rapping. It made me think of you straight away because I know you have a bit of a heritage in that. And I'm thinking, man, you got to prosper. You got to prosper in every field you possibly can. And you got to branch out to everything. Why not?
Yeah, I am. Fucking, I've tried a lot of things before I got to this point. I tried to get into rapping back in the day, and you guys are not going to see that. But I also tried classical singing, fucking drumming, and a lot of things, and then finally got to this point. Here I am, finally making headway, getting eyeballs on me. So you know, it strokes your ego. But at the end of the day, if I'm really going to do this in the long haul, got to figure out a way to bring in money because that's the world we live
Hey,
in.
what are you using as a key right now?
Huh?
What are you using as a key light right now?
And bada bang.
Oh, a lamp from Pixar?
Costco.
Yeah, it's the Pixar lamp, dude.
From Pixar.
It's the eye from Pixar.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Damn. Sorry, babe. Everybody say sorry to Sarah for keeping her up so late.
Sorry, Sarah.
Sorry, Sarah.
Oh, dude, make a rap
Always
about
venting out.
shooting film, a very cringe one. Maybe, guys. You know, before I got into this whole content thing, I actually so I don't know if you guys remember Slaps and Alex, but I just recently posted some kind of older reels that came out originally in like 2023, which were like my first taste of like minor social media success. They got like 1,000 views on YouTube, you know, and like I was like, whoa, that's so cool. And no, not YouTube, on Facebook, because that's where I was posting it, because I was trying to make, you want to make a local photography business, you start on Facebook, I guess. I don't know, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was posting on there, and those were the ones where I was holding the chicken and playing with the mule and all that shit. And the thing that stalled that out was, so, I did those things where I was like, hello, internet, I want to get good at social media. What am I doing wrong? Am I not drinking enough beer? Am I not playing with enough chickens? And then after the second one, somebody said, you should do a rap video. And I was like, okay, well, fuck. And so I wrote a whole rap song and recorded it in, what's that DAW that they have on every Apple Mac? Uh, GarageBand. So I did the whole rap song, and then I was like, well, now I need to make a video. I need to make a rap video, and I kind of stalled out because I just made it too precious, and I was like, this needs to be perfect. And then I went down the whole rabbit hole of I was really into Twin Peaks at the time, so I was like, I need to make a reel of me doing like an intro to it backwards. You know how David Lynch made the actors on Twin Peaks deliver lines in reverse.
That's
So now I
so
can
cool.
remember saying Roy div par roing dars du stadium nan yesajikis disna mock gauge names Jan Sydney on the emotionless Nasser will off next draw healer Narshniba Danawilla. And that's says and that in
That's
reverse says hello internet, I've been really trying to do good on social media, and this nice man Ray said I should put out a rap video. Anyway, shit like that. And so I recorded all that, and I still haven't put out the rap video, so that's been years in the making. Maybe if I get to 10 billion subscribers, you guys will get the rap video, I promise.
Yeah. Man, Twin Peaks is awesome.
did
See,
you?
that's what makes me think. You've got a bit of an idea. You've got a bit of a move. You've got a movie in your mind. I'm telling you, you're trying to sort of deviate from this conversation, but I think you've got, like, okay, we all have to make a crust. We all have to make that. But what's after that? After you've made that crust, what's on the pages for Little LoPresti?
I'm just thinking about the now. I just need to make money. I mean, I don't even have mental capacity to think about like any grandiose plans of what I want to do. I mean, I've thought like fancifully about like fucking, the kind of movies I like are like dystopian things like They Live. I would love to make like a modern They Live, like some guy overthrowing alien lizard people, Hollywood elite fucking type of shit. Some action movie, like put on the fucking glasses. Like who would be perfectly cast for Rowdy Piper and whatnot in today's world? Like who would be the perfect lead for that, to be the guy who overthrows the Hollywood elite lizard people and brings humanity back into the golden ages. I don't know. That would be my go-to movie.
Yeah, Alex would be the perfect actor for that.
So I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Trudeau.
Oh, come on, guys. We have to remember we are
Over the mode.
collective. of people.
I can't do what's his name?
Okay, Christopher.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Campagne.
Oh,
It's too hard.
Everyone can do a Christopher Walken.
I don't think so. Can they?
Christopher Walken's hard. You can't. And no anyone can do Christopher Walken. You're dreaming. Show me a good Christopher
All I
Walken.
know is this is my Seinfeld. What's the deal with film photography?
It looks like Seinfeld too. Yeah, no, you got that.
Well, I don't know, guys. Are we running out of steam? I got to go piss again, and I feel like this might be a good point. What do you guys think? Okay. Well, I think I need to end it with the song.
The song.
I haven't even the theme song for the podcast.
There's a song.
Yeah, you guys haven't heard the theme song?
I haven't.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, here we go, guys. I mean, I appreciate.
You love me.
No, that's not the theme song. That's not the theme song. So you're giving me a chance to remember it in my drunken state. Okay, well, first of all, I just got to thank everybody who stuck it out this far. We still got 6 people watching our drunken ramblings, so
It's
I appreciate you all tuning in. No, that's not it. Come on, come on, lamb chop. What the fuck? You giving me shit over here. Okay, well, this has been a great reunion of Hands of Friendship. So, Hands of Friendship, I'm chilling with my bros. Hands of Friendship, we like to take photos. From Australia to America, we're doing what we love. That's cameras and film and lots of other stuff. Hell yeah. Well, Alexander, is this Limp Bizkit?
Oh, is this POD?
What is this, Slipknot?
No, it's like Rage Against the Machine, POD kind of age group.
Fucking, oh, click. Okay, yeah, that can be our theme song. I like that's way cooler than what I sang. Anyway, that's it, guys. I don't know. Hit me up for a post-mortem in the DMs if you wanna. Peace out. That's the end of the podcast, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're leaving live if I can figure this out. Oh, okay, I'm still here. Fuck. How do I cancel this thing? 2 hours.